All right. Welcome back to another Friday night game. Here in the booth with me is Brett Martindale. I'm Harm Gailey. It's nice to have you guys tuned in. Lovely senior night here playing Provo. I mean, very contrasting records, if you will, 5-3, 7-1. And this game is a really interesting situation. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, so big night in the 5A actually for Region 9. Wasatch High School, as you mentioned, 3-2, but 2-3. And so, yeah, you got three teams, other teams, Spanish Fork, Provo, and Springville, tied at the top of the region, 3-1. But the whole convincing thing is lots can happen still with a big win here.
Yeah.
Not just playing spoiler.
No.
Wasatch.
And I mean, Wasatch has the opportunity to potentially go as high as second in the region if they win today.
Yep.
With a win today. So they can go as high as second, which is, I mean, quite the jump. Winning region is a big accomplishment in and of itself. But, I mean, right now they're ranked 13th in the state in 5A, which comes into term with the play-in tournament. You got 24 teams that are going to this tournament. And this is where the math gets a little complicated, so viewers at home, bear with us. But out of those 24 teams, 8 have a bye the first week, meaning that 8 don't play, and numbers 9 through 17 host. From there, it's the highest seed hosts at home. Wasatch is currently ranked 13th on that list, meaning that with a win, they can potentially get a first-round bye, depending on how 12 through 9 shape out, but they will most definitely be hosting if they win. If they lose, they'll probably still be in the tournament. It would take a drastic turn of events to not be, but they will not have home field advantage, and that is a big, important thing that you're missing out on.
Yeah, you know, you're most certainly correct in the fact that obviously you'd love to have one more home game, and that is a big deal when you're talking about state tournament. And Wasatch does have some pluses at this point. They will be, and we'll be able to see the interview a little bit later. We're talking about Coburn this week. They are obviously going through what Coach Coburn said is the worst injury season he's ever had here at Wasatch.
Yeah.
And that is the case tonight. We're going to find that out, of course, talk about Chris Cook. Their top running back is out.
So the sports hernia of all things. I mean, that's some pretty severe sports injury.
Well,
I mean,
besides a shoulder injury, so yeah. He has the two things going there.
And on top of that, you can't not talk about Darius Edwards going out in the fourth game of the season. I mean, led the nation in passing up until that point, which was catastrophic for him. I mean, a great passer. And now we have Kazon Villa, who to this point has shown very, very promising moments. And also there have been some times where it's a little frustrating. And so you gotta shape out and say, all right, is this the night that Kazon really shows his true potential and comes out here and passes for 100 yards, 200, 300, whatever it is? I mean, we know that Kazon is a mobile quarterback, which is great because that's something that Darius Edwards struggled with, right? And so it's a little bit of a change. But so you got to keep in mind what goes into mobile quarterback play. You got to have a solid offensive line. You got to have your receivers constantly working downfield. That way Kazon Villa isn't taking unnecessary hits because he doesn't have anybody with catchable ball. I mean, there's a lot of things that you got to think of. So you got to say, is this the game that the whole team pulls together around Kazon Villa, or is this a game where we see some things go wrong, and ultimately we see another loss in the column? I mean, this is an important game, not just for, your standing, but for the future of Wasatch.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so, you're looking at the injuries, a lot of injuries with Wasatch. Apparently also a couple of Provo athletes are on the injured list as well. Both teams slightly banged up. Provo coming off a win over last place Salem Hills, which is still a tough game for sure. It was at Salem Hills. They took care of business last week, 35-7. And Wasatch, of course, the devastating loss at Spanish Fork last week.
Yeah.
Just a couple of mistakes, like you were mentioning, just timely mistakes.
Yeah.
And still some really bright spots.
And I mean, I know I've said this time and time again, but this game is all about momentum, right? So Wasatch has lost 2 straight right now. If they lose a third going into the state tournament, that is not good. That is not where you want to be at all. And so you got to think, even for momentum's sake, if we win one here, even if we don't get a first-round bye, we've changed the momentum in our favor, and we're now no longer on a losing streak, which they are now.
So we're looking at here in just a few moments, we'll be doing the national anthem here at Wright Tree Stadium in Heber City, Utah, Wasatch High School. And we thank you for joining us here on Sting TV. It is a rainy night. The rain has died down a little bit.
But we should be looking for, after halftime, it's supposed to come hard, fast, and it's going to be brutal. We'll see what quarterback trusts. I mean, something you got to keep in mind, quarterback play in rain is always different. Something that I saw last year with Wasatch, playing at Salem Hills in the semifinals of the tournament. I mean, Coach Coburn didn't change his game plan. Neither did the coach of Salem. And the last play of the game was a losing interception, which was the only one of the game. So you got to give props to the quarterback, the quarterbacks. But here we have Kazan Villa, who we know isn't quite as polished of a passer as Darius Edwards. And I mean, Provo's quarterback, Jace Welsh, I mean, he's pretty good, but he's also more of a dual threat than anything else. And so we don't know how good of a passer he is. So the question is this going to fall on the load of the running back? And I mean, for Wasatch, that's a little harder because they don't have Chris Cook anymore. So that is quite the interesting situation that we're finding ourselves in.
Yeah, Jace Wells for Provo, he's the senior version of Kazan Villa, basically. Yeah. He's refined a little bit more, more efficiency passing. And definitely last week against Salem.
300 total yards, 150 passing, 150 on the ground.
And that is complete dual threat right there.
Oh, yeah. Could not be more balanced than that.
Well, once again, we thank you for joining us on Sting TV. We're going to let you hear tonight the national anthem. And we'll first be able to see here the
Wasatch come out of the tunnel. I mean, let's see the energy they come out here. I'm not saying this is the determining factor tonight's game, but if they're hanging their heads as they come out, I don't think they will be, but let's look at them. Oh, yeah. They're pumped. I mean, it's pretty obvious. They know what's at stake here. I'm excited to see how this game shapes out because this is one of those games that you could say, looking at the record, looking at how Wasatch has played recently, looking at everything that's gone into this Wasatch team, you could say, they have every excuse to lose here, and nobody would say, nobody would blame the team for losing. That being said, I don't think they're just going to sit down and take it because what good team would, you know what I'm saying?
Well, and, you mentioned earlier senior night. You do have a lot of seniors, and they recognized, of course, the seniors before the game, but they know it's not their last home game in all probabilities you mentioned.
Yeah.
And but in either case, it's like you said, it really just at this point, you're looking at, we need a win badly for our morale and
most definitely
to just help each other. I mean, it's been so hard.
And with that, we'll sign off for a bit and let you guys enjoy the national anthem.
With the presentation of colors proclaimed at the national anthem. This evening, the colors will be presented by the cadets of the Wasatch High School Air Force Junior Auto Program that are commanded by Cadet Sammy Dahl. tonight, our national anthem will be sang by Kate Bouchard. Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, it proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And with that, we'll now send it to an interview with Coach Coburn.
Toss. Again, we want to thank our officials for being here. Chad, Roderick, Isaac,
how the practice has been this week, and what things we're working on, and how the guys are feeling.
Yeah, it was a good week of practice. You know, coming back on Monday, these kids are resilient. They come back and ready to go to work, and so it's been a good week of hard work by everybody, and we're ready to get after it on this beautiful Friday evening.
So, Provo High School. Let's talk a little bit about what you know they're doing. They're obviously you got 4 teams in your region clogged, right. But tell us what you know about Provo.
Provo's going to be a big physical team. Kind of sounds like a broken record, doesn't it?
Yep.
They're big up front on the offensive line, and they got a returning starter at running back. So offensively, they're going to be a big threat for us there. Defensively, they run a 4-man front, and are physical at the linebacker spot. So it's we've got to come out and be able to match their physicality and use our strength, which is our speed, versus them. And so if we can do that and get started fast, I think we have a good shot at it.
Let's talk really quickly, Coach, about the injury report. I know you've had a little banged up here and there. It's an understatement to say it's been a tough year with injuries. Tell us where we're at right now with guys.
Well, Chris Cook is out. We just found out today that he also has a sports hernia along with his shoulder injury, so he's out, and I don't know how long that is or what the prognosis is there. Austin McNaughton's out, which was our starting left guard. He's out for the season. We've got some few kids that are out as well, been sick, and so in the era we're in, when somebody's sick, they stay home and don't get involved, and so we've lost a few kids that way. But again, it's next man up and get ready to play, because Provo doesn't care if we got injuries or if we're sick. They're ready to play too, so we're ready to go.
Let's talk quickly about the state tournament. There have been some changes from the past.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that and what you're shooting for there.
Yeah, they've changed it from a 32-man bracket to a 24-team bracket. So we're battling for playoff position right here. So big night on senior night, honoring our seniors tonight. We're excited about that. We had a big team dinner last night for the seniors, and then tonight we're playing for them and playing for playoff seeding. So we've got to be in that top level to get to play where we want to play.
Head coach Steve Coburn, thank you so much for taking a few minutes with us here on Sting TV.
All right, yeah. So you hear from Coach Coburn there. We mentioned the injuries, Hiram.
You got
we talked about before.
Chris Cook, Austin McNaughton. I mean,
Austin McNaughton is a big one. Let's talk about that.
That is a super big
huge
one. Coach Coburn mentioned that Provo runs a 4-man front. For those of you who don't know what that means, Provo consistently has 4 defensive linemen always, right? And so you got 5 offensive linemen blocking all the time. You're running them against 4 defensive linemen plus blitzers. I mean, you could be looking at potentially upwards of 8 people every play coming at you, which is 3 more than can be blocked. I mean, with Wasatch's offensive line struggles that we've seen in the past, it's going to be really interesting to see how that shapes out. And also something interesting, if you look at it, the kicker is elected to stick it at the far hash, and he kicks it. Oh, weird kick right there. Awkward kick.
That's Nalu Kitashima, and he's going to get a few yards.
The ball looks like it was out, and Provo has recovered it, potentially. Yeah.
Well, there's a early mistake right off with the Wasatch Wasps. Looks like the ball jarred loose by Nalu.
Yeah, and I mean,
Kitashima. And so Provo will take over, and that's devastating to open up the game.
You got to talk about the weather right now. I mean, it stopped raining for now, but it is still very wet outside. And, I mean, that ball hit the turf twice before he picked it up. It had to be slippery.
All right, well,
early mistakes.
So Wasatch will go on the defensive to start the game, and here we go. Provo with the first possession. Jace Welch, the quarterback, he's going to hand off immediately to Jamison, and he is stopped at the line. In fact, it looks like possibly a loss of yards, maybe a loss of 1.
Yeah, I mean.
And that's a good sign for the front line there for Wasatch.
Wasatch's defensive line normally shows up in a big way in the first and fourth quarter. You do have to look out for those in-between quarters. It feels like Wasatch likes to cover up for their, shall we say, slacking off with a lot of blitzing. And so you're going to see a lot of blitzes, but we got to keep an eye out on how that defensive line does stamina-wise.
Welsh in shotgun. He hands off once again to Harward, and once again a loss, possibly of a yard again. That will take us to 3rd and 12 on this first possession.
And I mean, Provo is within field goal range. I would say they are within field goal range. So what I would say is, if I'm Provo's head coach, let's take a deep shot right to the end zone. Let's try to get 7 points on the board. If not, we can try to kick it.
Welsh back once again in the shotgun. And looks like, again, like you said, 4 players wide, and there's a pump left, and he's doing just what you said, Hiram, right down the sideline, and that is complete.
Yeah.
And it looks like the intended receiver and the completion, Rockwell Magleby.
And I mean, we're seeing a slower, methodical offense from Provo, but it kind of feels like they're playing backyard football with the way they play. I mean,
toying just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
All right, once again, that completion to Magleby, and here we go, 1st and goal. And Welsh is going to get sacked. It looked like he was doing possibly a little keeper to the left.
That is.
Here's the replay.
Jeremiah Clark.
Of the pass play previously.
Yeah. And I mean, something that you got to think, though, on those 3rd downs, something that you see the Chiefs do all the time is those deep shots, as we see it right there. Well, it's just a way to say, hey, look, we are not scared of defense. We will score.
2nd and goal. This time the pass is complete and a touchdown for Provo.
I mean, score early and often, as the saying says.
Provo taking advantage of the turnover. That pass was completed to Lagalima Lisa, a senior for the Bulldogs, and it is a quick 6 on the board for the Bulldogs.
And you got to think, I mean, Provo would love to come in here and play spoiler to senior night. But also, I mean, they don't want to lose, right? If they win, they are the number 1 seed in the region.
Yeah.
Right? So it's...
Yeah, they're in a big position to be very motivated. Yeah, like
exactly. And so, I mean, if you're looking at a team that is coming here to prove that they are the best, it is Provo.
Provo laden with a lot of seniors and juniors. Here's the touchdown play. It looked like just a little throw over the middle, right? Just a little
slant. I mean, not even a slant. That looks like a 5-yard hitch.
Yeah.
Comes right in underneath the linebacker, and you
couple of broken tackles.
Can't just.
Like.
I mean, you gotta tackle him, right?
Yeah.
And here we see again the kicker lines up on the far hash, which is, I mean, the furthest that you can put the ball, and he kicks it at an angle towards the close side of the end zone. That way he actually has more rushers coming at him than you normally would. The only problem is if he decides to cut it back, ooh, high kick. And he just called a fair catch. Smart play there by Colby Clough. I mean, very, very smart play to call a fair catch. High ball. He doesn't want to get drilled, but he also doesn't want to lose the ball again.
Exactly. Yeah. So previously on the extra point, we did want to mention Max Lehman, another senior for Provo, kicked that extra point and the kickoff. So Wasatch actually gets a few extra yards here to start their first play, and there's a quick pass over to the side, and that looks like it's Jaron Kalama with the reception and a few yards.
That is Jaron Kalama, one of the seniors you see. I mean, Jaron Kalama, you can't say enough about how good Jaron Kalama is.
You know, we mentioned all the injuries. He was one of the early season injuries, and now he's back. Coach Coburn says near 100%. This time down the sideline pass, it's caught. And that is Blake Smith. I mean, Blake Smith is somebody that we've seen that's made some big-time catches. He's not a real underneath guy. He's an over-the-top sideline type of receiver, which is a vital part of an offense. Very quickly, the no-huddle offense. This time, Kazon Villa on his knees, but complete. That is to La'a Kalama, and he will score. Touchdown, Wasatch.
Scoring early and often. I talked about Kazon Villa before the game. Is this Kazon Villa's game where he balls out, shows everybody, hey, look, I'm this good, or is this the game where he kind of folds under pressure? So far, you can say that his response is, I'm going to ball out of my mind. The throw that he just made reminded me of the Patrick Mahomes sideways throw in the Super Bowl, except our receiver caught it and ended up going for a touchdown. I mean, great pocket presence to look and see La'a Kalama open downfield and say, hey, look, I got a guy there. I don't have to take a sack. I can get rid of the ball and score 7.
Here's the replay.
Mean, there's Jaron Kalama's screenplay. 3 plays in Wasatch is scored. I mean, 3 plays is all it took, and they were all pass plays. I mean, there's Blake Smith down the seam, right along the sideline, and, I mean, phenomenal drive, not a long one. Here we see Kazon throwing as he's getting taken down.
Yep.
And, I mean, La'a Kalama is just...
Yeah, he's the...
Can't say enough about those two brothers. Right. Jaron and La'a, both terrific athletes, and it is a pleasure to watch them every Friday.
Kyler Grant with our statistician here tonight mentioned that was a 69-yard drive in just 3 plays. Thanks, Kyler. Good work. And quickly, that ties the game, 7-7. So we're seeing fireworks here in the rain tonight.
Yeah.
Immediately.
I mean, it has started to rain yet again, and it looks like it's coming down even heavier than it was pregame. It's only going to get worse, and ball security is going to be a big question, and I think it's going to come down to whose receivers can hold onto the ball. Is ball security going to be that big of an issue as we see Aiden Rouser's kick go back, not all the way,
but back to right to the 2-yard line, and it looks like he will be met. The Provo runner will be met.
About the 18-yard line.
And that looks like carried the ball. We're just trying to see a number. We think that's number 11, Ty Larson.
I believe that was Colby Clough with the tackle, Ty Larson on the return. And I mean, something we saw earlier was Provo's methodicality.
Yeah.
They were slow, but not too slow. They took the opportunities when they got them. We're now seeing a triple option look in the backfield with 3 receivers out wide.
So they will take over at their own 19-yard line. A running play to the right, found some space.
And I mean, bulldozed some people to get there.
And once again, that's Jamison Harward of the Bulldogs. Harward's a junior and led.
And a returning starter. I mean, he is.
Right. Ran for about 68 yards last week against Salem Hills.
Yeah.
So, second and about 3.
Same look we're seeing here, but I bet it's probably going to be a passing play rather than,
pass play. And that is incomplete. Intended target for the Bulldogs, Tomasi Hifu.
And I mean, that's something that you're probably going to see a lot from this Provo offense. They're going to show you the same look, and it's going to be a different play. They're going to do that 3 or 4 times. Then they're going to run the same play twice.
Yep.
And that's where you're probably going to get burnt because Wasatch has had trouble trusting each other on defense. I mean, everybody wants to make a play. Why wouldn't you? But you got to trust that everybody's going to do their job.
I predict they're going to try Hifo again sometime soon. He was their leading receiver last week. That's number 15, Tomasi Hifo.
And as you mentioned, they had 5 receivers all above 10 yards last game.
Wells this time connects. And the runner is Ezra Tuilakubuka. And he runs about 25 yards.
I mean, that's a high number on him. I bet he probably plays fullback. But, I mean...
Yeah, that's a big boy with big moves right there. He goes into Wasatch territory.
Yeah, terrific play there. Like I said, I mean, if Provo stalls, gets a 3rd down, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to go for that deep shot. Look for a run and then a deep shot, or a deep shot and then a run.
Welch again, hands off this time to Harward. Harward's going to get about 9 yards. And just a little short of the first down. Looks like a couple yards short.
I mean, it's 2nd and 2. Try for the end zone. I mean, you know this guy can throw it. Welsh back there. I mean, he's a gunslinger. He has the weapons. Toss it up to the end zone. I don't see why not.
Yeah, it looks a little like Wasatch a little on their heels with the run tonight right off. Here's another pass play. This time, again, caught. That is Daniel Assisi. Another target from last week. We talked a little bit about the passing game of Provo last week.
Yeah.
Watching a few of the plays, but statistically, they had 6 guys with at least 10 yards receiving. And maybe not a lot. Well, and I looked at that. It was 5, but then there was another one with 9. So that means what that means is they spread it out quite a bit.
Yeah.
This time the run play is again held back. This time Wasatch not looking like they're on their heels. And that'll be a loss of a yard.
Yeah. Here you're subbing out the running back. You're probably going to get a new look. I'm waiting for the deep shot. They've tried it once already. Yep. I wouldn't be surprised to try it again. At the bottom of your screen, you're seeing Ty Larson. I mean, he's a kick returner. We know he has speed. Why not just send him on a streak, maybe a fade to that little pylon?
Chase Welsh is going, just like you said, he's going to go for the end zone. That is incomplete. The intended receiver, Tomasi Hifo.
Yeah.
That time in the backfield, I noticed another running back, Bryant Larson. He's not listed as a running back, but maybe it was Brian Sandoval. We'll have to watch that again.
But, yeah, I mean.
And just like that, it's 3rd and 9. Actually, it looks more like it's 3rd and 10 or 11, but. So, Provo, I believe this is their 2nd time in the 3rd down conversion.
2nd time. I mean, first time they got about 30 yards on that. Yep. Try it again, see what happens.
Welsh back in the shotgun once again. And that is Brian Sandoval. He's going to run to his right and fires down, has a man open, and it is complete.
And that is a sideline catch. I mean, they're saying inbounds.
And that is the receiver, Lanetalo Takitaki, with that reception. And once again, a 1st down. So that's 2 3rd down conversions for the Bulldogs here in this 1st quarter.
I mean, I really like watching this Provo offense play because they're fast enough and slow enough at the same time.
This is a running play. It's going to be
about 5 yards
short,
on that.
Maybe 4 or 5 yards. Trying to see the runner there. That looks like that is 23. Again, that's Bryant Larson.
Yeah. And, I mean, you look at that offensive line that Provo has. Those are some big guys, big in stature.
One of the big points that Coach Coburn made. And he feels like it's just every week it's like that. Every team that they've played, all these tough teams in the Region 9 have big lines. Larson's going to go ahead. I'm sorry, that's Welsh. He's keeping the ball, runs to his right. Looks like he might gain a yard.
I believe
or
that was
2.
2 yards on the gain. It's 3rd down. I mean, you're in a great position.
They can get a first down.
Exactly.
Before, here's the replay on that. Welsh running to his right, definitely quick. He's 6'3".
It's Josh Sanders at the drag down. I mean, you got to look out for players like that, right? You don't want a quarterback running on you because that just opens up another play of the field. I mean, having a mobile quarterback is like playing 12 on 11. It's like having a mismatched man, so you don't want that.
This is a big 3rd down for Wasatch to hold. This is going to be a running play, and right into the end zone is number 27, Faye Tagi Lisa.
Yeah. And I mean, you saw a pistol formation, quarterback line right up under. You got a...
And we do have a Wasatch player down. And we'll try to see who that is. That looks like one of the linemen.
Jay
That's
Kupo.
the last thing we need. Kupo, yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah. I mean, you just saw it right there. I mean, just right through the line.
Yeah,
like
that's a great open hole by the Bulldog front line. So another touchdown, but we do have, looks like Kupo, you say that is?
Yeah. Jay Kupo. I mean, terrific guy. Looks like he's getting up.
Senior, walking on his own, and that's a good sign. Showing a couple of replays here. This is the replay previously on the play to Ezra Tuilevuka.
Wasatch said we can go down the field in 3 plays, and Provo said we can go a little bit further in 7. I mean, terrific job by this Provo team to respond well.
Max Lehman out for the extra point for the Bulldogs. The kick is up, and it is good.
And, I mean, it is still very wet outside. It is still raining. And, I mean, it's not something that Utah is built for, shall we say.
And, surprising, here we still have 5.5 minutes left in the first quarter, already 21 points. You would think the weather would be a little more advantageous for the defense.
Yeah. You would. And
Which
I mean,
we have seen a turnover.
We did see the turnover first play of the game. I mean, right on kickoff, just a muffed return.
All right, here we're looking at the previous
recap.
drive. Yep. And that's Tuilevuka with a fantastic run. And then, of course, quarterback Welsh. Welsh right now, completions, I don't know. I haven't seen him. I saw 1 incompletion, but that's about it for Welsh. 5 for 7. All right, 2. Thanks again there for that. Here's the run back this time. It looks like Sanders.
Yeah. And I mean,
Sanders gets it out to the 32-yard line, which is decent field position.
Yeah.
For Wasatch again.
One of those things that the disadvantage with Provo and how they play the kickoff. I mean, on the one hand, you get more rushers, but if they decide to cut it back or they alter the return method, it can be really devastating.
All right, well, let's see how Wasatch responds with their no-huddle offense. Kazan Villa already back. No one behind him.
And, I mean, 4 receivers at the top.
Villa looks immediately down the right sideline. That is caught, whether he's in bounds or not.
They're calling it out of bounds.
Determined out of bounds.
And, I mean,
fantastic
on the money pass, something that I'm really loving seeing from Kazan Villa. I mean, this is going to sound stupid because it kind of is, but a pass doesn't have to be complete to gain passing momentum.
Intended receiver was Josh Sanders. This time Villa's going to keep the ball. He has got a hole, got past 1 defender and a couple more. Looks like he got a couple of yards.
Yeah.
And so that will bring up another third down for Wasatch.
Number 27, Lisa on that play, really tried to lay a hit down on Kazan Villa, trying to say, hey, look, do not run on this defense. You will regret it.
3rd and about 6. Pass down the middle is almost
Dropped.
intercepted. Looks like hoping for Jaron Kalama to be there, but
Yeah.
that is, here's
And
the
I mean,
replay of
here
the
we
run
see
on the previous play.
Lowers the shoulder
Yeah,
and just
Kazon showing
nails
some
him.
toughness there. So Wasatch 3 and out.
Something that you got to think, though, I mean, I can guarantee that would have rattled me, and I would not be surprised if Kazon Villa himself was rattled after that mass. Like, I mean, gets up and says, "All right, I'm gonna play this next one." But I mean, he is probably a little shaken up from that. That was a hard hit.
Aiden Rouser was back to punt, but Provo is going to call the first time out of the game.
And I mean, the rain is coming down even heavier than it has been before. We're starting to see rain jackets on the sideline from the coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, something that you got to realize about Utah, though, we really do not get much rain at all. We are very, very different from a lot of states in that regard. One of the driest states across the country, second to only Nevada. And, I mean, humidity is a constant 10, right? No higher. So it is a big deal that it is raining, and raining as hard as it is.
All right, well, 5 minutes remaining after the timeout. And Aiden Rouser once again back to punt for Wasatch. He's going to get the punt off. Kind of a low, quick kick. It's going to take a bounce.
And I love that bounce by Aiden Rouser.
And that's going to push Provo back to about their own 33-yard line. So
Yeah.
Provo takes over with a 14-7 lead, and we still have almost 5 minutes left in the first quarter. And yes, it is wet. So talking just a little bit about the weather. Let's guess how this is going to work throughout the game. Does the defense take advantage of it, or is it offense?
I think you're going to see either some really strong run game or some really strong defense.
All right, so Provo takes over. Welsh back. He's going to hand off, and another hole.
And he's gone.
That's Harward. There is only a couple guys to catch him, and they do catch him.
He just ran for about 40 yards on that play. He went from the 25 to the 27, flipped the field.
Yeah, that was just a big hole.
I mean,
on the right side. And here's that replay. Yeah, there's a hole, big hole.
Monstrous run.
And that's just Jaron Kalama running down.
Jaron Kalama, Peter Muslar.
And Peter Muslar
tag team in that to get it down.
Tackle. So Provo, 1st and 10 now on the Wasatch 28-yard line.
Oh,
there's a fumble.
That's a fumble.
And it looks like at this point, Wasatch falls on top of it. And
that is the right play at the right time. I mean, you just got run on for about 40 yards, and now you have the ball is back, and now we can really start to see that rain.
Here's the replay.
I'm saying it every time.
You just mentioned a minute ago, maybe the run game would take over, but to me, boy, running the ball, it just seems like it's a wet pickle that you're trying to hold on to. So yeah. Wasatch gets the turnover back, and the offense comes back on the field.
The problem with throwing, though, is it's harder to get throwing velocity behind that ball.
Kazon Villa is going to wait and has some open space. He's going to slide down at about the
gets about 4 yards on that play. I like his decision to slide.
Yep.
He's realizing that, hey, I'm valuable to my team as long as I'm not banged up. So I'm going to do my best to keep myself healthy.
Quick pass to the right. Sanders has got it. He's going to run down the sideline, and he's knocked out of bounds.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that is, depending on the placement.
That is a first down on the placement.
First down.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think the smartest move for both teams is to play to the sidelines. Get out, because if you get a fumble and it fumbles out of bounds, it's still your ball.
Villa back to pass again. He's rushed and throws it away.
Smart move by Kazon Villa there. Like I said, playing to the sidelines is going to be
and is it just me, or we haven't seen a flag yet in this game?
That is the first flag.
Well, I didn't see. Was there a flag? I didn't even see one. I know the referees are talking.
It's on the far side.
Okay. All right. There it is. Illegal
Calling
procedure.
it false start on the offense.
So that'll bring back that play. It will still be first down, but it'll be first and about 15.
Yeah. And I mean, now you have a situation where you probably have to pass it. And it's not. Kazon is proving this game that he can pass it. The only problem is you now have rain, and gloves aren't not as sticky when they're rain. I mean,
Villa once again with the pass to the right sideline. Quick pass to, I believe that was Sanders.
I don't think there was any loss on that play, but there certainly wasn't any gain. Maybe of a few inches.
Looks like they're giving him maybe a yard. So it now will be second and about 14. And once again, the no-huddle offense. Villa scrambling to his left. He's got a man open. That pass is complete. I believe that is Museler? Nope, that is Jaron Kalama.
La'a.
And you're right, La'a Kalama, number 7.
And I mean, now you have third and about 6.
Third and about 6.
Which is where you want to be.
Third down play. Almost got an offsides there. Looks like the last 3 times Wasatch has just been trying to draw the defensive offsides. So here we go, 3rd and 6. Draw play. Kazon Villa.
And he goes down.
Like he gets possibly enough for the first down.
He goes down. It looks to be at about the first down. They're spotting it at the first down.
So the chains will move. And that's a big, big third down conversion.
And good job by Kazon Villa to say, all right, I'm not going to sit around. I'm going to go get this first down.
Again, pursued. Villa's on the left sideline. He's going to keep the ball and just run out about almost at the next first down marker. Beautiful running there that time, keeping himself safe
but also you really don't want to get hit in this rain. You want to get out of bounds as much as you can, because if you fumble, it's going to be catastrophic.
2 first downs in a row for the Wasatch offense, and they are moving. And here's a little quick drop-off play. That is Jaron Kalama. He is going to be met behind.
Yeah, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't love that play. I mean, I feel like there's too much that can go wrong in this weather. A snap to just a quick little pass right off. I don't love it.
Yeah, it looked like it didn't fool Provo, at least on that one. So, but maybe they're setting things up later, right?
Yeah.
Here's the same setup right there. And that pass is going to be, it looks like they may give it to him.
I hope they don't. I mean, if they don't, it gives them better field position, but they do.
So just like that.
3rd and 20.
Third
and 17.
And here we go.
Ooh, almost got him jump off sides.
So the last 3 plays on this drive, Provo has really rushed effectively. This looked like they have a 4-man rush. And here they come again. Villa gets the ball off, and it will be thrown over the head of Jaron. No, once again, La'a Kalama was the intended target. And
I'm going to be completely honest with you. If the weather keeps up like it is, I could see the final scoreline being 14-7.
That's a possibility. All right.
Would not be surprised.
Back to punt for Wasatch.
Aiden Rouser. And we have 2 men on Provo back to return. It
looks like back to return. Kick. The snap is a little high. Again,
nice spin on that kick, though. I love how Aiden Rouser kicks it short with spin. That way it's not returnable very easily, but, I mean, it gets all the way down there at the 10-yard line. We got to look out for Provo's running backs. We know that they can and will run effectively. But passing feels like it very well might be off the table for Provo, at least until this weather either dies down or they decide, hey, we need to pass here.
All right, Jace Welch back, sitting next to Jamison Harwood. Harwood with probably 70 yards rushing here in this first quarter.
Jet sweep.
So that's a sweep by Tomasi Hifo. He's brought down. Looks like they gained about 6 yards on that play.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm Wasatch, I'm going to try to punch that ball. I mean, I don't know how many viewers at home were watching the BYU football game against Arizona State, but you saw a legitimate punch against the ball. I'd be trying to do that because ball security is going to be even worse this game.
Second and about 5. Jace Walsh, once again, he's going to look to his right. Quick pass to the sideline. Boy, almost looked like a hold there. No flag. And Wasatch defends it. I think they might have gotten a yard.
Normally, I'd say gun it downfield, just throw. But, I mean, you're 3rd and 4 at your own 15. You want to get a certain, so I'd say, I mean, earlier towards the end zone, we saw a 5-yard button hook. I would not be surprised if we saw that again.
Harvard in the backfield with Welch. This is 3rd and 4. And they're going to stop Welch this time. That is a big 3rd down stop by the Wasatch defense.
And that is Trevin Rothwell.
Yeah, it looks like, yeah, for sure, Rothwell and it looks like Christensen Garrett. Or is that Garrett Christensen?
Garrett Christensen.
All right. Well, that's a huge stop for Wasatch. And that will be the end of the first quarter. So, a rainy night here at Wright Tree Stadium in Heber City, Utah. And
I'm obviously not playing, but I can feel how cold it is out there. I would not want to get hit. I would not want to hit. I would not want to try to catch. And, I mean, here we see Kazon with his miraculous throw.
Yeah,
I mean,
that is the play of the game, I think. That's the offensive play of the game. Kazon on his knees.
I have been critical of Kazon Villa in the past, saying I need to see him prove himself as a passer. And this game, he has looked a very, very much improved passer. And that's the thing that I love to see with these young quarterbacks. When given the opportunity to shine, I want to see them. And now we see Welsh.
Yeah, this is the first touchdown, I believe. Oh, no, this was the second touchdown. Or was that the first one?
That was the first.
Yeah, okay.
But, yeah, I mean, that little 5-yard button hook, I was going to say that's what I would run if I was coach on that 3rd down. Watch for a fake punt right here. I would not be surprised to see that.
So, Provo will get the punt off.
Interesting spin on that kick.
And that will spin
And Jaron Kalam is calling it a poison ball, saying get away from that. I always want to see a fake punt, but I feel like in a game that would, I mean, high stakes game right here. If one of these teams is down big in the 4th quarter, we're seeing a fake punt.
So we hope to see that. All right, so Wasatch will take over, and with decent field percent.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Almost in Provo's territory. Love to see it. Wasatch going with 4 receivers on the top. No protection in the backfield. Little screen.
And that is going to be a gain of a few yards for Kalama.
Yeah.
Or no, Jaron Kalama had the ball that time. Thank you. So, 2nd down. Wasatch looks like about 6. Kazon, heavy pressure early. He gets the pass off. Jaron Kalama is going to get a couple of yards maybe.
Yeah. I mean, good job there, though, by Kazon to say, hey, Jaron can get more yards than I can. Let's dump this off. Throws a check down, which I've seen him not want to do in the past. I mean, it's an unappealing thing to do. Throwing a check down just kind of feels gross. But
3rd and 5, Kazon Villa makes a connection to Kalama. 1st down and an extra 10 yards beyond that.
Yeah. And there we see
has been the hot spot tonight.
No huddle offense, trying to get it going as fast as they possibly can.
The referees seem to be better at getting out of the way tonight. A few weeks ago, it was like they were really struggling. Kazon Villa does a little draw play.
Yeah.
Gets a few yards.
Smart to go down when he did. We saw a linebacker coming for his head right there.
Steamrolling him, yeah. All right, quickly, it's 2nd and about 6. Kazon Villa looking at 5 different receivers, and he's going to look left. He's going to run to his left. He's going to keep it once again. Going to keep the ball and just almost just stepped out of bounds. That would have been a thriller
of a touchdown, but alas. I mean, I love to see what's going on with Kazon Villa, though. He's made enough passes where his rushing is now a legitimate threat, where they say we cannot rush this man because we know that he can pass it down the field. And that's what I needed to see from Kazon Villa. Let's see if he can keep it up for the rest of the night.
First 10, here's a blitz, and he is struck.
I mean,
that is Provo's number 7,
Lisa, just unblocked. And we saw Lisa lay out a hit on Kazon Villa. It didn't bring him down, but it certainly shook him up a little bit.
All right, so first it'll be 2nd and 15. And Wasatch, once again, trying to draw Provo off. If they do it just one time, it'll be worth it. So 2nd, 15. And again, 5 receivers. Quick pass to the right. Gets a block, and that is Sanders. And he's got open space, and he drops the ball, but it will just didn't go out of bounds fast enough.
They're calling it out of bounds.
It did go out of bounds. That is very victorious for Wasatch. That could have been devastating. Looks like it's not decided
They're having a choice.
Oh, they're giving it to Wasatch.
They're calling it out of bounds. I mean, there we see Josh Sanders.
And he's jigging and jagging. And there's that throw, that slap down.
Yeah.
I don't know how that looked like it was in play.
But yeah, I mean, that's what you love to see, though.
Wow.
Advantageous fumble there. 2 words that do not normally go together.
So it will be now 1st and goal for Wasatch. They get the heavenly roll on that fumble play. And once again, 4 receivers on the left. Villa avoids.
Oh,
and a touchdown, Wasatch. That is La'akalama. And that was a fantastic fake there by Kazon Villa.
I cannot stress how much I am loving this week's Kazon Villa as opposed to the previous weeks of Kazon Villa. It feels like he's starting to make a breakthrough with how he plays, and we just saw him tuck it on this drive, we saw him tuck it, almost score a touchdown with his legs. Provo said, hey, we're not going to let you do that. And now he punishes them, which is what you need to do as a dual threat quarterback, right? You got to say it's either me or you're going to make me throw, right?
And I don't
take your poison.
I think that was the best drive to demonstrate what you're saying there.
I mean, Kazon Villa and Wasatch just went 74 yards on 7 plays. There we see Jaron Kalama with a quick little screen play, gets about 5. And now we're going to see that La'akalama dagger. I mean, quite the connection that these guys have built up. And then we see Kazon Villa, like I was saying, with the pump fake, almost broke it free.
Oh, and that just
went. And that play was the play that set up the touchdown.
And there's
the sack.
Blitz, yeah.
Kazon Villa, though, did a good job of not letting it phase him.
And here is the
Josh Sanders advantageous fumble.
Bounce, we're going to call that.
There's the touchdown, though. Look, he does the same thing except he throws it.
Just over the top.
La'akalama was playing perfectly into, I guess, Wasatch's play style right there and said, hey, I know that I can throw the ball. Let me prove it. And he just did. And I love seeing that from him.
So on the kickoff here for Wasatch, back to receive, and that will not be received.
No air behind it, but plenty of distance.
That looked like a baseball line drive is what that was. Never went basically above 20 yards. So Provo will take over at their own 20-yard line.
To be completely honest with you, though, if you're Provo and you touch that ball, you're not catching it. not with the rain and the speed, right? So I would almost say it's a smart play to just line drive it and see if you can't catch him off guard. Get a little payback on the fumble on the return.
28 points already in this first half with 9.5 minutes left in the half. There's a completion, Welsh to Tomasi.
Good job by Ben Wright to just blow that up without any option of further yardage.
Ben Wright always seems to be in plays each week. A great job defensively.
And I mean, here we're seeing Provo, though, trying to mimic Wasatch, almost throw them off by almost copying the moves, but making them a little different.
4 receivers for Provo, looks like. There's going to be a blitz this time, and there is once again Jamison Harwood.
Massive hole.
It almost looks like they know they're going to blitz, and they find the hole, and that is just crazy.
Jaron Kalamo with another touchdown-saving tackle. The rain is dying down a bit from where it was. Just a massive
just
hole.
over the left
and without
side
Jaron Kalama, that play is good as gone.
And that's the second time the Bulldogs' Harwood has done that. He's
31 yards on that rush. And there he is again. Quite the hit by La'a Kalama. I heard it up here.
That's got to be near 100 yards for Harwood here in the first half.
I mean, he's had,
2 runs,
3 big plays now of 10 yards or more, and I would say a handful of 6-7 yard runs.
So 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Quickly, they are down the field. And that is Welch is going to keep it still on his feet, finally brought out of bounds after looked like a few yards. They're going to give him a few down to the Wasatch, about 22-yard line. Here's again Harwood with his
I heard this hit up here. La'a Kalama just saying, all right, I'm going to hit you. You're going to feel it. It didn't seem to phase Harwood, though, that much.
All right, 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at the Wasatch 15. Almost
another run. There. Swallowed up at the line, but there's a flag.
You see a flag in the backfield. That's potentially a holding.
I'd love to see a holding call, and that is a holding call on the offense.
So with 8 minutes and 6 seconds left, I want to say that's the first penalty for Provo. Am I wrong with that? I think only one other penalty can I think of was a
false start on Wasatch.
Procedure. So it'll now be again first down, but it'll be
20.
1st and 20 for the Provo Bulldogs.
And I mean, with the way Harwood is playing, got to say let's focus on the run. But Provo knows that, and it's now the reverse psychology game of who reverse psychologies who harder.
So Jace Welch back in the shotgun. He's going to keep it, and just like you said, he's going to throw it. He does have a man. Short pass, big gain. That's going to get them back about to the original.
9.5 yards, 10.
So it'll be 2nd and about 11 for the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
That is the one to me that it seems like Wasatch is the most vulnerable. The little passes over the middle.
Yeah.
And that's just probably what they're giving teams. So they're going to have to avoid the rush. And
late flag.
Oh, that's not what you want.
That's really not what you want.
All right, so that'll be a
5-yard
penalty.
So you're going to have...
But worse, it gets them closer. So they're going to be 2nd and 5 from about the Wasatch 15-yard line.
Trying to get him jump again. Didn't quite get it, but now we know that you got a linebacker or two blitzing. Provo will know that.
And there is a loose ball. Welch is going to get it and throw it away, and that's brilliant. Otherwise, that was going to be another loss of about 30 yards.
And there you got a flag on the play. It might be intentional grounding, but if it is, I disagree with it. That's an intentional grounding. That's a loss of downs right there with the 10-yard penalty. It's now going to be 3rd down. I don't agree with this. He had a receiver in the vicinity, and he was well outside the pocket. Yeah, I don't think it's the right call, but
I've got
that's more than a 10-yard penalty. That is from the spot of the foul, which is the only from the spot of the foul call in high school. And that's 3rd down and about 30.
Okay. So the Bulldogs have gained 30 on play. So all Wasatch has to do here is not make a penalty.
And here's where you play the sticks defense. Line up at the sticks. Don't let him get the sticks.
Welsh back. He's got plenty of time. Now he's got rush coming, and he will be drugged down.
That is a sack by Colby Clough, number 20. Great play just to disrupt it. I take everything back that I just said. Don't play the sticks defense. Do exactly what you just did.
I think so. Here's what I think on that play. I think you got to give the secondary a lot of credit. He had time, and there was no one open. So give the secondary their credit.
And, I mean, that's the second sack for Colby Clough, as Kyler Grant just informed me. I mean, love the statistician back here. Smart kid.
So Provo, having been at the Wasatch 15, is now punting from their own
punt,
40.
Telling them stay away, and it goes out of bounds. No shot of that even being caught.
So Wasatch avoids a bullet.
Has stopped.
Yeah,
there
it
is.
does look like
never mind.
A little bit.
Cancel that. The rain is still on. I'm just a little blind.
With the, for those of you not here at the stadium tonight, you're definitely warmer and drier. And I would imagine it's also a small disadvantage. The usual student crowd looks like it's a little more than half, maybe around 3/4 typical, but they are definitely showing energy, probably doing everything they can to stay warm. So Wasatch will take over once again. 14-14, Villa back.
Free play.
He's got a man open, and it's in and out of his hands. I want to say that's not.
Nalu Kitashima.
Oh, Kitashima. Close. There's the replay on that.
And just bounced. I mean, hit him right in those pads, right at the center. It's a little wet. Got to think there's a lot of things that go into that. But
2nd and 10, this time the pass is
Crew
complete.
Erickson with the reception. About 17 on that. Crew Erickson, traditionally a quarterback, switching over to receiver to get more playing time. Heck of an athlete, great baseball player.
Fantastic play there.
Phenomenal football player.
And we haven't heard him much. And there's a quick draw, and he is going to be down. Quezon Villa is brought down by Provo's number 30.
Good read there by Provo.
Diaz. And that will be a loss of about 6. Well, from the play, so this now will be 2nd and about 11. Villa gets the ball off, and it is incomplete again. This time to Sanders. Not right to him, but he's probably not happy that he didn't catch that one.
I mean, it's a lower pass, but still a catchable ball.
All right, so 3rd and 11. Wasatch desperately needing a 3rd down conversion here to take advantage of the defensive hold.
Let's see a long ball.
Villa's going to keep it, and he is brought down. And that's
too much pressure. Yeah. I mean, it was all around him.
That pressure accumulated quickly. And so with 5 minutes and 5 seconds left, there was just no opening there. So 5 minutes, 6 seconds left. Wasatch will punt.
And I mean,
receive.
If I'm Wasatch, I'm saying throw this ball as high as you possibly can and hope for a muffed punt.
Yep. Good call.
Looks like it is
a little higher, a big kick, and it is
just
caught.
Tackled immediately.
Ty Larson
by Nalu
did a
Kitashima.
Good job of holding on to that ball in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, Nalu Kitashima all over that. I mean, had the mistake on offense, dropping the ball, making up for it on special teams, saying, you're not returning this, bud. Sorry about that.
That will drive the Bulldogs back to their own. Looks like they're going to place it at about the 10-yard line. So 90 yards to go, 4 minutes, 36 seconds left.
And, I mean, you got to be thinking you want to score before halftime, right? You want to get an edge on this team before halftime. You might see a couple 4th down tries on this play.
Harward.
Or on before halftime ends.
Harward gets the call and gets about 5 yards. We're going to check on the number of yards Harward has soldiered through this first half. So it'll be 2nd and looks like about 5 for the Bulldogs here. Yeah, you'd think Bulldogs want to score, but they want to maybe use the clock to not give Wasatch any chance of being able to. So here's Welsh back, and he's going to throw down.
Deep
he
pass.
does have a man.
Oh,
I'm afraid there's going to be a defensive.
That's pass interference.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't know what you're holding your hands out for. It doesn't get more blatant than that. I'm sorry.
Well, and it looks like it's going to be called on number 24 for Wasatch.
It's called on Josh Sanders. I mean, the receiver did a good job showing the catch before it happened. And so you see it. I mean.
Yeah, that's 24. That's Caden Luke. Looks like he just jumped a little bit before thinking it was in the air.
Yeah.
But so it'll be 1st and 10 at the Bulldog 30-yard line. Handoff to, once again, Harward, and Harward drags a couple of Wasatch players.
Breckenbowen's helmet is off. He has to come out for a play per the rule.
Harward is just laboring. He is just bruising. I mean, he carried a couple of guys on that play for a couple of yards.
They carried a defensive lineman for about 3 yards before the D lineman was able to get him down. D linemen are not small.
This time back with Welsh is number 27, Fiatagi Lisa. Welsh is going to keep the ball. He's going to get maybe 3 yards.
High. I mean, 3rd and very short. You got to be thinking quarterback draw, quarterback sneak. But I mean, if it's a 4th down and you got 3 minutes left before half, I don't know about you. I'm going for it. I might see a fake punt here. I've been waiting for one all season.
Down, but all right, Welsh is back. And
it's a first
run
down.
Play is going to look like they're going to get their first down. So Provo doing what we thought. They're just chewing up some clock.
Yeah.
Down to 3 minutes now, 3 minutes and running.
You're probably going to see a play action deep shot. They've been running with success all game, but runs can only get you so far. When Wasatch is expecting it every play, you're almost guaranteed to see a play action with a deep, deep shot.
Harward back in at the fullback behind.
And great job by Provo to just see that La Calama's most definitely going to be blitzing on this.
Oh, Welsh is back. He's going to throw. He has a man open. Complete. That is Tomasi Hifo once again. Hifo has been a target all the first half.
I know Provo's on offense right now, but I just saw something from La Calama that I was genuinely very impressed by. La Calama got baited into showing blitz. Just
and then they had
right
to
off
Is that what you're saying?
blitz, right? Just pump fake La Calama jumps, right? And then I saw La Calama did not blitz right away and took away that option from the quarterback, waited till his safety was there, and then ran. That 1-2 second hesitation from La Calama was a very crucial decision by him, and great job to know what that quarterback was thinking.
So Provo, lots of whistles going on, but play's not stopping. So Welsh will be back once again next to Harward. They're going to give it to Harward. And once again, a hole. Harward bruises another first down. I would have to say so far this game, the offensive player of the game has been Jamison Harward for the Bulldogs. Harward's got to have over 100 yards rushing here in the first half alone. So first down once again.
I mean,
for Provo.
Yeah, Harward has been all over the place, and he's been doing a great job running the ball.
Almost 2 minutes left here in the first half. And Provo into Wasatch territory. Welsh back's got lots of time.
That's a deep shot. Oh,
and it is
well defended by La Calama. Good job to shut that down. Said, nope. I got my hoodie on. I'm ready to play with some swag. I got it. Played with some swag right there. Showed them, hey, look, that's not going to fly. Not in my house.
So the strong defensive hold there.
111 yards of rushing now for
that is
Harward.
Jamison Harward on pace to 250-yard gain if they don't stop him. So they're going to give it to him once again. This time he is met, but still gets his 4 or 5 yards.
Sometimes it doesn't matter if you're met.
There's a late flag.
And that might be a late hit from Provo, knocking down Peter Muslar. We'll see.
So while we're waiting here for the flag call, we're going to talk just a little bit here at the halftime. We're going to be able to
watch your number one right there. Plays over, and boom.
Oh, yeah. Is it the long-haired one there?
Yep. That's probably where you're going to see that foul. How big is that penalty? That's going to be a 15-yard penalty. Well, that's a unsportsmanlike conduct from the spot of the foul. So you're going to
Wow.
Yeah, it's not a pretty one.
They walk that back clear to Colville. So Provo will take over now. This will be 3rd down.
3rd and 20.
3 fouls for 33 yards.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, that's the 3rd foul for Provo for 33 yards that they've lost.
So they're putting 1:44 back on the clock. 1:44 left here and a long 3rd and 20. Obviously, this is a huge 3rd down play. A stop once again needed by the Wasatch defense.
And I mean, I play sticks. You know what I'm saying?
Welsh back with Harvard. Welsh going to throw. He's got time. He has a receiver open. And
oh, my goodness.
Unbelievable.
A one-handed snag by number 12, Rocky Magleby. I'm in awe of that catch. That was a terrific catch.
Wow.
I mean, just a beauty. There might be a flag on the play. I don't know. The ref got it.
Here's that replay. If we
top of your screen,
Magleby's out of the picture, and we probably won't be able to see the catch. But trust us, folks, it was acrobatic. And here's another pass play into the end zone. If his feet
and that's
are
a touchdown.
They're going to call him out of bounds, which is surprising.
It looked from up
had
here.
To have 1 foot, right?
You do, but it looked like the first foot that came down was out of bounds. And so when he hit that second foot.
Once again, Magleby with another catch, but here's the replay.
I mean, you're going to watch this.
And another
top of your screen. It looks like, oh yeah, first foot that came down was partially in bounds, but partially
close.
Out of bounds.
All right, we're live again. Fake to Art, and that is an incomplete pass to Magleby. They did the fake handoff to Harward, which drew a couple of players away.
Yeah.
But then the incomplete pass will now make it 3rd. 3rd down once again for the Bulldogs. And again, another defensive play needed by the Wasps.
11 for 17, 111 passing yards here for,
is that for Welsh?
Welsh. I mean, only had 150 last game. Looks like he's going to surpass that. Getting
short
rushed.
Pass to Harward, and Harward gets down. And it looks like he is down before he falls
but I mean, he's real close to that touchdown.
Harward touches the ball, and it's just an automatic 6 or 10 yards.
Yeah, I mean, Harward is a big problem, and that's Ben Wright
10.
down for Wasatch. Looks like it's something to do with his lower leg.
Here's the replay. Short pass just over the reach. But Harward, it just does a fantastic job of finding and grinding.
Harward is a very fun player to watch. I mean, he's really great presence, though, by Welsh to know where that ball needs to go.
Trying to find Wright where he's at in this play. I don't believe that there, but... Oh, back there, so.
Yeah, it looks like Wright kind of clipped him and then turned a little funny, and that's why he's down. It's probably going to be an ankle injury.
Looks like his left leg, yeah.
And
he is definitely in a little pain, so.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Ben Wright come out with a concussion earlier this season. He's not putting a whole lot of weight on that, but it definitely looks to be an ankle to lower leg injury.
All right. Well, first down for the Bulldogs, and a couple of fantastic offensive calls there by the Bulldogs on third down plays. I wish we had that stat. Third down conversions for Provo.
I mean, Provo has.
The thing is, they got penalties. They've got 82 yards.
So, minute 22 left here. Provo doing just exactly what they wanted to do. They're chewing up time off the clock.
They started with 5 minutes on this drive. It's been a 4-minute drive. That is impressive.
And they're resting at the 1 yard line on first and goal.
And I mean,
14.
really the only player who's had a standout defensive play on this drive is La'a Kalama with his little swat down on that. But
so, minute 14. Clock is running. And I'm not sure why that is, but clock just running down. I'm sure that will change. The referees will probably do. Well, I guess not. I guess the Provo was just running the clock while they were over meeting on the sideline.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what we said. They were trying to run the clock down. So.
And they have very successfully.
Timeout Provo. And that's probably them. They just. I thought he did too.
He did go to Wasatch.
But it would make sense that Provo would call it because they probably just ran down their play clock. So we're all trying to figure it out here in the booth. We got a lot of us baffled here in the. So once again, a rainy night here. Raining still not quite as hard as it was earlier, but possibly less than it will be. There's a 90% chance of rain here in just a half hour or so. But it's not windy, but it's just darn wet and cold at the moment.
But I mean, it's supposed to be coming down harder than it's been. And I mean, you're only dropping in temperature as the night goes on. It's not going to be super fun to play in.
No. And far worse for the fans. All right, here it is. First and goal, and Provo looks like they're going to run it in.
That's a touchdown.
That is a quarterback sneak in there, and that will be a touchdown, Provo. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Welsh. So 3 touchdowns here in the first half for Provo, one of them off of a turnover.
Yeah, and I mean, great push by his second running. I'm going to call it a fullback. Great push by his fullback to just push him right into the end zone. Give that line just a little bit of extra juice.
Kick is up and good for the Bulldogs by Max Lehman, the senior kicker. So 21-14, and absolutely brilliant play calling there, running the clock down from, as you mentioned, around 5 minutes.
Yeah, what we do know, though,
seconds.
is in this game, it only took Wasatch 3 plays to go down the field and score.
Very true.
So you got to be thinking, if you're Provo, hey, let's play a defense that's probably going to be a cover 4, cover 5. You're going to play some deep quarters, and you're not going to let anything go over the top of your head.
Gotcha.
You got to select that specialty tab in Madden, and then you got to go down to deep quarters.
Hey, sometimes that's how people learn to play the game, right?
Hey,
Madden.
That's how I learned most of my plays. I'm not gonna lie, but we've watched some film since then. I mean, the same kicking formation, which is just a little interesting to me, but
yeah, it's like Provo's not trying to cook it into the field, into the end zone. They're trying to keep it, maybe potentially.
And I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest. If I'm Wasatch, I might start letting those go out of bounds. Because if the kick goes out of bounds, yeah, it can be a little hard because that's going to be a big penalty.
A little bit of a risk if they let it bounce and it doesn't go out of bounds, but
yeah. But I mean, on that you had to back up all the way to the sideline, so
38 rushing yards, 113 in the air, 13 for 18.
So Wasatch will take over.
38 rushing yards for Kazan.
Pass is complete.
Get out of
and
bounds.
Out to the sideline.
Good job. Good job.
That's once again Josh Sanders.
Sanders. I mean, Kazan has over 100 yards in the air this game, about 40 rushing.
And it will be second and about 5. Kazan looking left. He's got pressure coming. He's running left. He's going to dish it off to Jaron Kalama. Kalama's going to try to get a couple yards and then run out of bounds. So Wasatch doing some great time management here, not using their timeouts, but throwing, just not gaining a lot of yards.
And I mean, something interesting that I'm now realizing, Wasatch has yet to put a running back in the backfield and run with that running back.
Without Chris Cook, yeah.
The only run play that we've seen that wasn't from Kazan Villa was that negative little shovel pass to Jaron Kalama.
3rd and 5. Pass is complete.
Got to call a timeout
Once
right here.
Once again to Crew Erickson. And that will be a quick timeout. Nope, they're going to keep going. Clock is still running. It stopped for a minute to move the chains. Incomplete pass. Target looked like Kalama.
And the ball might be a little wet. We're getting a new ball out here. And now the rain is starting to come down heavier and thicker now.
You can see people in the stands. A lot of garbage bags and a lot of hoods and a lot of umbrellas. But the student section, strong and proud. Here's 2nd and 10. Kazan Villa looks right. He's going to run to the right. He's got to get rid of it. He does have a man.
That's a deep shot.
And it is complete.
That is caught.
And that is a touchdown, Wasatch.
I have no idea how Josh Sanders got that. Zero clue.
Well, he was completely surrounded by the defender, and it's like the defender thought he was out of bounds or something.
I have no idea how, Kazan got that off. I mean, terrific throw by Kazan, running out of bounds.
And waiting until the last
possible second. Yeah. Floats it up there to his receiver to make a play. I mean, wow. That was a wow play.
Kick is up and good by Southam.
There we go.
Southam. And unbelievable.
I mean, let's watch this replay if we can.
42 seconds.
Look at Kazan, runs out of the pocket,
now
keeps his eyes downfield, realizes, hey, look, I have to know what's going on. Sorry with the replay, a little bit of technical difficulties going on.
All right,
keeps his eyes downfield. We see that he's looking downfield.
Waits. I mean, he's
does
got a guy
his
in
most.
His shoulders. And then there's another one hits him as he's thrown.
And look at this ball. I have no idea how Josh Sanders came down with that. I mean, he had a defender right on his receiving arm. Hey, you just walked that into the end zone. I mean, that was terrific.
Well, we were talking about offensive plays of the game. Here in the first half, there's been 5 or 6. I mean, if we had to decide, we're going to have a panel at this point.
Something that I've seen from Kazan Villa tonight is throwing accurately under pressure. He's 16 for 23 tonight. No shot of return on this one.
I think.
And I mean, it is.
I think Hefo wanted to run it, but both feet in the end zone means they can't. Yeah. Is that how that works?
That is how it works. If you back up into the end zone to catch it, you're okay. But if you receive it in the end zone
with 1 foot out of the end zone, actually,
that's okay. But if you receive with both feet in, that's when it starts to. And I mean, if I'm Provo, I might take a shot. But also, if I'm Provo, I'm looking at this rain and I'm saying, all right, let's get the heck off this field.
Yep.
Into a warm locker room. Let's talk about what we can improve on, and let's go win this ball game. I mean, that's their goal right now.
And I think they are. They're just gonna nail it. And call it good.
Yeah, I'm okay with that call. I'm not mad about that one at all.
Well, here's some numbers for you. 42 points by both teams, combined points. Each team well over 250 yards offense.
If you had to point to one thing on Provo, what are you saying that Provo did well this quarter?
Well, this quarter?
Or, sorry, this half.
This half?
And there you see the rain. I mean, look at the rain. It is coming down.
It's dumping. So, well, here's the thing. Provo did what they needed to do with taking advantage of turnovers.
Yep.
Only one turnover for each team in the half. And both teams took advantage of it. But Provo did that. Provo really brilliantly ran the clock well. And I would have to say that's one of their strengths. The other thing that Provo did, obviously the running game's working for them, and so they took advantage of that a little bit. And yet Welsh himself still had a great first half. Yeah. So obviously both teams looking for the defensive formula that they want so that they can get some stops and do what they need to there.
I'm not going to lie. Going into this game, I was not very high on Kazon Villa. I said, hey, look, he's pretty unproved. The two games that I'd say that he's had a good game at, they were against teams that had a shaky defense that I was like, I don't know how well he's doing. The game, I would say the best game of his career up until this point was at Salem Hills against a Salem Hills team who's just not as good as they used to be.
But still tough, and a tough place to play. So.
Still good, but not as good as they used to be. And so I was like, I don't know how good this kid is. I haven't really seen him playing as well as he possibly can.
I'll give him for sure.
Now I'm seeing Kazon Villa make plays with his feet, with his arm, drawing the defenders with his eyes, with the pump fake. Kazon Villa is doing what I need to see from Kazon Villa to say,
we're going to do this first half, and before we finish the final thoughts of the teams, we're going to hear the band, and we're also hopefully going to be able to show you an interview we had a couple of weeks ago with the new principal at Wasatch High School, Justin Kelly. And we had a great opportunity to get a couple minutes about him and learn about him. And so we're hopefully going to have that maybe toward the end of the halftime here. So final thoughts, first half. But what are the keys to help each team play a little better defense at this point?
I want to see a better pass defense, and I want to see a better run defense. I'm sure you can guess which teams I'm going to single out, but Provo needs to do a better job of saying this kid is a legitimate quarterback. Let's get him down as fast as we possibly can. And then for Wasatch, say, all right, Welsh is having an all right game passing. We haven't seen him really solidify himself as a passer. Let's just blitz that backfield, try to get as many big bodies as we can back there. I would say maybe reciprocate with the four-man front. Just try to clog that backfield as much as you possibly can.
That's my thought, too. I feel like if you can stop Jameson. Wait, sorry.
Harward.
Jameson Harward. If you can stop him, make them have Harward not be a factor anymore.
Yeah.
And in volleyball coaching, that's what we would try to do. If we knew another player on their offense in volleyball, if we knew we could stop them, they were going to make the other players, role players, have to do something.
Yeah.
And so that to me just seems like as good as Welsh is at quarterback and as good as the other receivers. I mean, Maggleby's a great receiver. So let's stop Harward and see what you guys have to prove the other way.
Yeah. Make other players prove that they need to step up. And I think with that, we'll sign out for halftime.
All right.
We'll see you back in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, stick around for the second half of Wasatch High School football.
And Dana Funk, those are Dance Company seniors. We want to again thank all of our seniors in these areas. Let's give them one more big round of applause for our All right, guys, you can go off the field. And now, it's a tradition like none other. Tonight we have a special performance brought to you by Drill, Cheer, and Dance Company. They've been working hard all week to bring you an outstanding performance. Here at Wasatch, we call this Chilco, which is cheer, drill, and dance. This is under the direction of Hackney Dana and Lauren Bloomfield present Chilco.
You're probably right. I was like,
The last part of the interview was talking about homecoming music, so just, if you want 3 or 4 minutes, we play everyone introducing himself.
hey, Lindsay.
When he gets to
Hey, Hattie. Are you enjoying the coverage?
Otherwise,
Not for a while.
just let us know.
After this, I won't be. Love you, Zayden. Which group is that? This is Dance Company. The rain. Woo! That looks so cool. I know, that sucks. Oh well. Good job, Lindsay. Oh, the rain. Five, 6, 7, 8, 1. Oh, 5. What the hell? That's fine. Count in your heads. Count it. Come on, Caitlin. Did she do it right, Lauren? I couldn't tell.
Even in the rain. The Sumter. Great job, ladies. And let's hear it for Joe Cole, Cheer, Bill, and company under the direction of Hadley Bingham and Lauren Bloomfield. Nicely done, ladies.
It should go up to quarter 3 for the reset. Of course, we reset it. Not off the ball. I left 4 up there, but.
I bought these new pants. It's nice the first time I got them.
But no, I mean, he left like very
I left right.
Oh, this still
Again, we want to thank our sponsor, Ken Gayba, Favorite Auto, for the cool gear program. What? We'll win the brand new car, reliable. Fresh Rock Tires, Mountain Auto Sales, Mountain Furniture, Quick Chip, Panorama, Soper, Ohio, Grill, The House, Insurance Center Midway, the Wasatch Way, Van Dyke's Mortgage, Wasatch Auto Parts, Wasatch Physical Therapy, Sports Medicine, Dan Ivy, Wright, Orthodontics, Mitchell, School, on Stone Insurance. Again, our sponsors, we appreciate all that they do. Golden Concession Stand, the Little Basketball Team. Appreciate all of you being here.
Here's our. So once it kicks it, it'll have like one side of the field. They're bringing some pizza in, and you just do it supposedly. You want some of that way.
Anybody else want a drink? Water?
I got some.
I'll take a water.
You're a drink fan, huh?
No, I got one.
I said you got diet Coke, man.
You want any of that?
I'm good.
I'm gonna get some pizza in me.
So we're supposed to.
I hope it's done raining by 9 o'clock.
So if we get to the official time,
It's all right.
let's wait for it.
Until like pretty close.
She don't believe in shooting stars, but she believes in shooting cars. What's yours in the news department? Who's short from the stores department? You more like let's hear it. Football back out on the field.
Admin team. But I still don't know if it's at a
We would have called it.
Oh, plays on.
Yeah, it is. Till I got flashed by the pop.
There's just puddles on the track.
I hate these.
I want to see some cool parts. I want to see some.
I know what was foul, baby. Hey, you've been all on my brain. And if somebody would have told me a month ago. All right, let's hear it for the Warriors.
here we are back from halftime. Just living life in the cold. Now you can really see the rain though coming down at the top of your screen. You can really see it. It is as dense as it's been all night, and it's probably not going to get any better. And I'm not bummed about it, if I'm being honest. The rain is, I mean, it's an X factor for sure.
Well, I just went down to the concourse and concessions and walked back, and I was drenched.
There we see the Provo faithful. That dude only has some shorts on. He's got to be freezing.
Well, for sure that it is not slowing down. It looks like it's increased a little bit, and look at.
I mean,
they
don't look so happy, but I'm assuming neither do the Wasatch fans. Although the student section is keeping warm by not staying still. That's the secret to life.
You know, I didn't play football. You probably did.
Maybe back in my heyday a bit, yeah.
A little Madden here and there, but
I played some Pop Warner.
My dad was a college football player back in the day in the 50s and played at Idaho State. And, of course, in Pocatello, they had snow. Always, you know, harsh winters there. And he used to tell the story of, there'd be wind blowing, snow falling. He says it was just bruising. He was a running back. And he says they did have those big kerosene heaters over on the sidelines. And he says, I couldn't go stand by them because if I did once, I wouldn't want to leave it ever. So he says it just got me through the game that I could just think about it after the game. I could go stand at home with my kerosene anyway. And I can't imagine being cold and getting hit.
Yeah, and I mean.
And like you said, this isn't even cold.
It's just rain and not even a whole lot of wind, right? Which is. I mean, it's certainly fallen more to the southeast side of things, but it's also just there's not a whole lot of wind. The only factor is the slippery stuff. And so, I mean, as you see a Provo player dancing right there, notice he has gloves on. I mean, that's your average day accessory to these things, right? And so with that, you get, gloves. The reason they work so well is you get them wet once, you kind of rub it, they dry out. They're real sticky. With the rain, I would say almost take your gloves off. Play with your bare hands. I mean, it might hurt a little bit to catch that ball. You might stub your finger a little, something. But if your gloves are slick and you're trying to make a finger-grabbing catch, the ball's going to go through it. I mean, you probably don't have much of a shot there. So I'd say you got to be real careful.
Well, looking through the league, we got some scores here in the last few seconds of our halftime. Interesting score here at Springville. Salem Hills, the 1-6 Salem Hills, actually almost keeping pace with Springville. This would actually be a huge upset. Right now, Springville up 14-7 at the half.
Yeah.
And but that shows Salem staying with them for the most part, so we'll have to keep our eye on that. And I believe that's the only other game in the conference. I can't see any others, so we can look at, Springville-Salem. For you Park City fans out there, they are down 3-0 at the half at Skyline in the really tough Region 6. And the kickoff will go into the end zone, and Provo will take over at the 20-yard line. Of course, we had a huge upset in state football last night. Corner Canyon finally losing a game. Their win streak of 48 straight games, they ended up losing last night on a Thursday night. And Lone Peak, of course, beat them 41-16, a shellacking of Corner Canyon, showing that they're basically human. And so anyway, back here, we definitely have drama for ourselves here. Wasatch with a fabulous 40-second drive at the end of the half gave them huge energy going into this half, just tying the game at 21. And Provo down already, 2nd and 6. Provo's had a great first half from quarterback Jace Welch, but the offensive player of the first half we voted was Harward. That pass is incomplete.
Well played by the cornerback. He didn't jump on it until the last second when you can't get that PI. I mean, phenomenal job by Caden Luke to fix his mistake from earlier and realize, all right, there's a time and a place to nail that. And, I mean, you can barely just see it, but Caden Luke plays the ball at the last second right towards the cornerback while still looking at the ball. Phenomenal play from him and good job learning.
Here's Provo using a lot of their play clock. Provo 3rd and 6. This is not a position they're typically in the first drive, although they did convert a couple of
3rd and 8s. They had 2 3rd and 8s converted. Looks like they're going to get a false start on the offense. It's going to draw them back 10 yards.
Who was it a few weeks ago? You were wondering if they were false starting on purpose to move them back enough to have a better pass game. I can't remember what team that was, but it seemed like they were working it to perfection.
Yeah. No, I mean, as stupid as it sounds, I believe that was a Mountain Crest. One of our losses, but they love to run the screen, and they didn't quite have enough room to run it.
Here's 3rd and 11. Welsh is going to keep it. He's going to be met by several Wasps, and he is brought down. So it'll be 4th down. The punt team will come out. A huge defensive stand by Wasatch here on this first possession of the second half.
I mean, the rain has died down a bit here. That ball is still going to be real slippery. If you're the punter, hold on to it. Otherwise, you're getting an earful. And if you're the punt returner, I would say don't touch it.
So back to punt for Provo is Tuilavuka. He's going to get that punt off, and they're going to let it bounce all the way to about the
smart play there by
27-yard line.
I mean, smart play there by him, though, knowing, hey, look, I don't have a great chance of catching this. That rain is coming down real hard. Let's just let this bounce.
Yep, so Wasatch will take over 21-21, and it has been nothing but fireworks in this first half of this game. First possession for Provo is resulted in a punt. Wasatch will take over. There's a
nice little screen. They love to run those screens. And that's Jaron Kalama getting a first down and a little bit more.
Kalama ran over a defender there, it looked like.
Yeah.
Almost looked like he could have kept going, but
out of bounds.
First down. Kazan Villa running things smoothly here, keeping his hands warm. It looks like he has his hand warmer.
Yeah, and dry, right? If you want to throw that ball and you want to put some nice spin on it, you got to keep it dry.
Villa looks left. He's going to do another short pass. This time, I believe that is. Oh, you hate seeing him get up slow.
Looks like it's something to do with his leg. We hope he's okay, but we know that Wasatch has no shortage of good receivers.
Well, I hate to say it. It looked like he was holding that arm limp again. Boy, you hate seeing that.
He's actually,
injury.
He's not on the trainer's table. He looks like he's doing fine. It looks like it just hurt for a second.
Vila's going to keep it, try to swing around the left. He does get past the defender.
Yeah, and I mean, Kazan Villa, really, I didn't know who he was when he started playing quarterback here. I mean, from Hawaii, from what I understand, great player.
Important third down play here, 3rd and 6. Wasatch desperately needing, and he's got pressure. Vila's going to run to his right. He's going to keep it and run, and he's going to get the first down. Hopefully he got over that line. Looks like he did.
Yep.
They're going to move the chains.
Smart play by him to get out of bounds, not trying to force it up the field, saying if I take this angle, I know. And there we get a nice little cuddle buddies on the Wasatch sideline.
So first down, Kazan Villa looking left. He's going to find another receiver. This time it is Crew Erickson again. Erickson's had 3 or 4 receptions this game.
I believe that's his 3rd reception on the game. 1 for over 10 yards, and the other 2 have been pretty short gains or negative gains.
So The reception was made, but no gain. In fact, they lost a yard. Vila once again is going to keep it. This obviously is looking like a theme. They're going to try to keep Provo a little off balance.
Villa's doing a good job of getting out of bounds.
I actually kind of wished he had darted back in.
Yeah.
I think he had some space, but so as it is, it's 3rd and about 6 again. This will be the second time in a row Wasatch has had a 3rd and 6 play. They converted on the last one. Vila looks right. He's got somebody downfield and just underthrown. That would have been a first down and an open receiver there. That was Blake Smith.
I think he might have thought that the Blake Smith would have turned around earlier, but you also got to be thinking that might have just slipped. I mean, the ball's pretty wet. His hands are inevitably going to be wet as a result, and I hate to say it, but if you're a punter and you muff this, I'm scared for that reason because that ball's going to be coming. It's going to be, it might be pretty slippery.
A chance to put Provo back deep in their own territory. There's a high snap. And again, a low dart kick. And there he's going to catch it. This time was caught
off the bounce.
And that will be Ty Larson. He's going to be finally
He doesn't get
down.
a lot of forward movement, but he did move a lot, probably about 3 yards from where the ball was caught. But if he didn't, it would have bounced pretty close to the 1 yard line. Good job by him to just not let it be downed on the 1.
Yeah, I thought for a second he might just let that go and let it go into the end zone. So, but instead, Provo will take over at their own 10-yard line. Wasatch with an opportunity to hold here. And once again, there's
Howard.
There's Howard, but Harward stopped only a couple of yards on that. So maybe Wasatch was listening to our plays keys of the second half.
Maybe.
So 2nd and about 8, maybe 7 for Provo. Welsh is back. He's going to give it. Now he's going to fake the handoff.
It's a nice little screen pass
to Hefo. Hefo is going to come down close to the first down.
I think that is the first down. They're marking him just short, looks like.
Nope, they're going to move the chains. So first down and, like you said, just short of the 20-yard line.
Yeah.
So Provo
does a really good job on those screenplays of moving cross-blocking, right? So they block to the sideline, and then they run inside. And so they do a good job of that.
1st and 10. Once again, Harvard with the ball, and he is stopped. So far on 3 carries this half, Harvard's being held to less than 10 yards, which is shocking.
Kona Kahai. I mean, Kona Kahai did a really good job of shedding that block, getting low on Harvard.
Okay.
That way Harvard cannot just bowl over him with that massive upper body and just burying him.
So no gain on the play. 2nd and 10. Once again, Welsh back with Harvard. They do have a halfback sort of in motion, but they're going to try to get him another handoff to Harvard and another stop.
Yeah.
So they're going to give him maybe 1.5 yards. So it'll be 3rd and a long 9 for Provo. Here's that replay. And yeah, you can say it looks like they're just swarming. Instead of just 1 or 2 guys,
it's
like there's 3 or 4,
6.
maybe even 5.
It's impressive, but I mean that's what Wasps do, right? They swarm.
All right, big 3rd and 9 play here. Now in the first half, Provo held several times 3rd and 9 and converted at least 2 different big plays. Welsh throws. He's got a man open, and they're going to hold. Wasatch is going to hold him.
Almost had a cutback lane, but you just saw 3 Wasatch defenders close in fast and say, hey, look, we have to stop you right here.
Provo passer was Lanitalo Takitaki with the catch, but he's held to about 3 yards, so it'll be 4th down. And once again, Ezra Tuilavuka back to punt. A lefty. He gets it off kind of a wobbler. Oh, and it's caught quickly by Sanders. Sanders is going to get And that looks like it is
Jaron
not
Kalama
Sanders,
with
Jaron
the
Kalama,
catch.
yeah.
I mean, does a good job of saying, you might have thought that I was going to drop it. Didn't. And the rain has died down even more here. We were expecting it to get worse as halftime has gone on. It got worse during halftime, but since has died down to a point where it's at, I would say, almost all-time low, which is lovely for Wasatch. Let's hope it picks back up again when Provo gets the ball, though.
So, Wasatch takes over.
And, I mean,
in Provo territory, Kazon Villa tried to sneak in, but he was met quickly.
There looks to be a cramp on the field. That is number 4 for Provo, David Martinez. But
yeah, hopefully that's just a cramp.
Speaking of injuries, we saw Jaron Kalama walk off the field. I mean, he's obviously doing good enough to play on punt returns, and we just saw him on the offensive drive.
Yeah.
Good to know that it was just something hurt for a second, not, oh shoot, my bone is out of my leg type of reaction.
We talked about scores, around the league. And what we're doing right now is taking a look at the National League Division Series, Dodgers and Giants. Giants are up 2-0 in the bottom of the 4th. And so baseball coming to an end, and it's a fun time. And the same with football.
Kazon Villa here with about 50 yards rushing and about 140 yards passing. I love to see it.
That's what you like to see, yeah.
You don't have to have a 50-50 split, but you gotta love it.
Yeah, that's
also has 3 passing touchdowns. I mean, that last one at halftime was a prayer, a miracle of 60 yards. I mean, I'm going to be completely honest. Yeah. Did not know as we see Martinez coming off the field.
Yeah, it looks like a little more than a cramp, unfortunately. So we'll try to keep you updated on number 4, David Martinez of the Provo Bulldogs. So Wasatch will take over. Looks like they will have second and looks like about 11 when play resumes here. So here we go. Kazon Villa back. We're going to try to draw Provo. Provo has been very disciplined for sure. Villa looking, he's got a man open across field, and there's lots of space for Josh Sanders. Sanders has got open space. He's at the 10, the 5. He is brought down. Touchdown, Wasatch.
Sanders just hit 2 or 3 phenomenal cutbacks on that. Just well anticipated by Josh Sanders. You love to see it.
Sanders really looking his size and speed there. Caught the ball in stride. Beautiful pass. Here's the replay. Villa caught him. Beautiful cross the play.
And I mean, cutback.
Sanders, Provo not able to keep up.
And then you see another cutback right here, and then a broken tackle after that. Well played.
The score and extra point marks the first lead of the night for the Wasatch Wasps. Once again, here is, almost had a replay there. We'll watch it again from this angle. Beautiful catch. Oh, he's just lightning gone. They just can't catch him. They did have one more right there, and they looked like they tried to do. Yeah.
Like I said, he tried to punch the ball out, did not work. And in that situation, you got to focus on, hey, let's actually get this guy down. Let's not just try to nail that ball out. But I will say, though, that was Loga Lima Lessie with that missed tackle. But Lessie has been all over this Wasatch defense, causing havoc. I mean, we've seen him on a blitz get a sack. We've seen him on a quarterback hit get some noted pressure.
Yes.
I mean, he's had a pretty good defensive night. And so I'm not going to say that he made the wrong play there for him, because he probably saw something I didn't.
So, watching that play, him doing that bat the ball down, that was a few weeks ago, like you mentioned, Tyler Algiers, BYU, kind of made national news. Was shown on ESPN a couple times. Him making that save tackle at the end of the ASU game, where he reached up and batted the ball down and absolutely saved the game for Brigham Young University. It's like that's happening, and it's interesting how you see players maybe simulating that, emulating it. Well, we got the with the light rain, the Wasatch crowd
Congo line
has caught fire. So Provo will take over. Jace Welch back in the shotgun. They're not running this time. They do have a man. Receiver caught it.
And he drags about 4 people down. I mean, phenomenal play there.
Drew Dusher, that's nice. That's the first catch of the night we've seen from him. Dusher, a sophomore wide receiver for the Provo Bulldogs. And that's a one-play first down for Provo. Once again, Harward back. He's going to get the ball.
Nope.
And he did not get the ball.
Yeah.
That was a
faked us out over here. Yep. That is a
Welsh picked that up.
Welsh. Yeah, I mean, when you focus too much on one runner, you miss out on the other, right? We just saw that Welsh kind of juked everybody out.
Yep. So. Well, and you know that Provo was going to probably do something different. They got to do something different to move the ball. They're not in a desperate situation. They just want to chew time off the clock, get the ball down the field, and use their strengths where they have them. So it'll be 2nd and 5.
And that's a run play.
There goes Harward.
Nice tackle there by Colby Clough. I mean, dragging him down by that leg, making sure, hey, you're in a position to bust this out for a couple, I would say 10 to 20 yards more based on what he's done all night. But let's get you down right now. Let's get that knee down for sure.
Harward carried that for 5 yards. That's the biggest gain for him this second half after being held to maybe only 5 yards total on that first possession. So Provo 1st and 10. Once again, Welsh is going to keep it. This time he's met and tackled at the line of scrimmage. That kind of looked like that was, I want to say, Sawyer Johansson for Wasatch. Haven't heard his name too much, but I think he either tackled him or made the first hit. So it'll be 2nd and 9 for the Bulldogs. Welsh back once again with Harward behind him. They're going to give Harward the ball this time, and once again, he is met at the line.
He's not really going anywhere. I mean, I'm loving what I'm seeing from Wasatch. They've stuck 4 people up at that defensive front saying, hey, look, we're going to do our best to shut you down before you can go anywhere. And it's working well for them. And we've seen Welsh try to rely on the pass, and he's made a couple of passes, and he's missed a couple of passes. And so right now you're saying, let's make this guy throw a little more and see what he can do, but let's make him prove to us that he's needs to not throw. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And that, again, that was one of our keys of the second half is stop one thing and make them have to prove something else. So here we go. 3rd down and about 7 or 8. And a huge play here already at the beginning. Welsh is going to keep it, and he's going to get hit at the line. And no matter what we say, Wasatch has made changes with, it is working right now against the Bulldogs. And with the one I'm a little surprised with is Magleby. I haven't even hardly seen him on the field. I'm wondering if Magleby, the receiver who had several great catches in that first half, I wonder if he's been hurt.
I think now is the time for a fake punt.
Okay.
If you're gonna pull one off, not this punt. Never mind. Nope. I take that back.
The punt is off.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it. That's poison. Touch it.
And Provo's going to let it bounce.
Phenomenal roll, though.
That's all the way down.
They're walking that down a country mile.
I kind of thought that maybe Kalama would.
On that drive, though, you saw 6 attempts on the ground for 11 yards. I mean, not a really productive. You're averaging under a yard per carry. I mean, sorry. Yeah, no. That's not great. So, I mean, that's what you love to see if you're Wasatch, right? You're averaging just over a yard per play, something like 1.7, so more than good.
Provo. All right, Wasatch on their own 5-yard line. And
have to go 95 yards to score.
Kazon Villa back. He's looking left.
Throwing.
He's got the ball thrown out of bounds. Looks like the intended
hits the bench. But I mean, Provo knows that Wasatch is not really running the ball this game, right? Wasatch has yet to have a running back in the backfield and actually run the ball. So, I mean, Provo is sending blitzers, trying to get a safety.
That pass is complete. And there is lots of daylight for La'akalama. He's at the 30, the 20. No one's going to catch him. He's at the 5. Touchdown, Wasatch.
That is a 95-yard, 2-play drive for a touchdown. I mean, Wasatch now goes up by 14 points if they can make this extra field goal, extra point. La'akalama stepping up in a big way, and more importantly, Kazon Villa showing, hey, look, I might be passing from my end zone, but I am not scared to stick in here for a second and just throw that ball.
You know, we would have to look back somehow. I don't know how we do it, but that would probably rank up there in the longest pass completion and run of the season for Wasatch, 95 yards, like you said.
Oh, I guarantee that would be the longest.
There at the top, if not the top. So
yeah.
Stats, here's the replay on that. We'll watch again.
La'akalama is right there. He's going to run a little slant inside, and slants have the opportunity to break big.
That defender.
Broken tackle right there.
There's Magleby that we were just talking about. Magleby was the only guy left to catch him. And
Magleby was back there, but so was Ty Larson. I mean, your only two guys back there with the opportunity to catch. Here he is.
One more time.
Bottom of your screen, cuts right inside. You see a missed tackle right there. And
Magleby's at the top.
Magleby's there. Larson's right there. And Larson gets close, and then La'akalama makes a smart move and cuts his direction, cutting off the angle that Larson had, throws up the cheetah peace sign, and he's gone. I mean, that's a touchdown.
That is huge. Huge offensive play. Now, we were talking about your stats were for Kazon Villa, 21 for 25. He's only had 4 incompletions the whole game, 378 yards. But you got to admit, 5 touchdowns, but you got to admit, several of those touchdowns are short passes and long runs from receivers. So still, they count the same.
I mean, he's had some long passes, but you also got to give a lot of credit, like you're saying, to these receivers that are catching that ball and just taking off. I mean, we have a prime example, 95-yard pass, catch, and run from La'akalama.
Huge. Well, Provo takes over. Hardly a rest. They hardly catch a breather. There's
good spin there by Harward.
Harward getting his yards. That's going to be close to a first down.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Wasatch stocks oxygen on the bench, but if anybody deserves it, it's La'a. As you can see, I mean, he's not quite out on the field yet. I'm assuming he'll be subbed in later on as we see him play both offense and defense. But
yeah, Provo, here we go. Second and about 4. Harward is again met at the line. I'm not sure he made the first
read
down.
Option. I think he got maybe a yard. Now you have 3rd and 1.5. 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1. A solid 3rd and 1.
A huge opportunity here for
Wasatch.
Wasatch.
They go for it on 4th down. That's a really big risk, right? Because you're inside your 30-yard line. That's your first down marker. If you don't convert, that's a big X. But also, if you give the ball away right now, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to play that situation out in your head.
Harward with the first down. And they will move the chains. Provo, all they want right now is nothing fancy. Just get the first downs, march down the field. They need desperately at this point a score to slow down the momentum of this game. Speaking of momentum, we were talking earlier here. We'll give you the score update in just a minute after this play. Welsh back. He's looking down. He has time. He has a man open, but overthrows him. That looks like the intended receiver, Tomasi Hifo. Hifo has been a big target all night.
But he's only had one catch on the. Pardon me. He's had 2 catches.
Maybe a couple catches
on the night. One of them was a touchdown, and the other one was probably about a 5-6 yard gain. So I mean, he's been involved, but it's been hard to get it to him. I mean, Wasatch has done a really good job of marking Hifo and saying, if we can shut that dude down, we're good.
Welsh is going to keep it. He's going to get yards. He's got space, and he's going to get the first down. That's a 12-yard run for Jace Welsh. 14 yards?
14 yards on that.
14-yard run. Okay.
And, I mean, you saw him. And just there we have Harward doing a good job of blocking backwards, making sure that, you slowed him down.
All right, 1st and 10. This is what Provo wants. They want to move the ball. Welsh is going to throw on 1st down. He's looking downfield. He's got a man open and just leads him a little too much.
That's Hifo again. I mean, Welsh is 15 for 24. Wasatch is pushing him to pass more and more, saying we're going to cancel out that run game. And we're starting to maybe see a reason why.
Yep. 2nd and 10. We were talking to you a little earlier. For those hoping for that upset over Springville, Salem Hills is now down 7-21 to Springville with only a few minutes left in the game. So it's looking like Springville is going to go ahead and hold on to that win column.
As Harward gets about 8 yards on that. Good running by him, angry running, saying, hey, look, y'all have canceled me out for a little bit. I'm going to come back. I'm going to bust through that D-line, and I'm going to get some nice yardage. That's the end of the quarter. Wasatch 35, Provo 21.
Easily the fastest quarter of the game for some reason. That just seemed to fly
Before we celebrate, though, we got to remember 2 of Wasatch's biggest losses have come in the 4th quarter.
Yep. Well, and at this point, you're looking at a little momentum here for Provo.
Yeah.
Looking at that fantastic run there.
I mean, Josh Sanders with a couple of great cutbacks, and we just see, and then we see this 95-yard pass, catch, and run from La'akalama and Kazan Villa.
The biggest offensive gain of the season for Wasatch, 95 yards.
He's gone.
Flying.
I mean, La'akalama, I know I've said it before. I'll say it again. The hoodie, the swag. I mean, this guy, you just know that he's going to be a problem when he steps on the field. Throws up the cheetahs, peace sign, says, I'm gone. Y'all didn't catch me. You weren't going to catch me.
How much do you think, in looking at the way teams have played, Wasatch getting ready to defend here, how much is Laha's game opened up now that Jaron is back, healthy, Jaron Kalama, because team's really key on him, right?
I mean, you got to keep in mind, though, Josh Sanders was the leading pass catcher at the beginning of the season, right? So the first 5 games, he was, I mean, the guy on this offense, right?
Right.
And then you had Jaron Kalama come back, and now you have La'akalama. You have 3 dangerous weapons who can all move the ball effectively. But with the return of Jaron Kalama, you now have 3 solid options, right? You have La'akalama, who's really good at playing the slot, really good at making people miss, really good at making those tackles. Jaron Kalama, who's going to catch the ball, make a move, make you feel it. And then you got Josh Sanders, who's just an all-around speedy guy, right? And so with the return of Jaron, you got to think La'a's able to play his game better because he doesn't have to change it or adapt it because you now have Jaron back in the lineup.
Sawyer Johansson with the sack. Jace Welsh running, looked like about 50 yards by the time he was done.
That's the 3rd sack on the night for Wasatch. I mean, something that we had concerns about coming into the game was Wasatch being sacked, and I mean, sacked a lot, right? That's one of the concerns that we had playing a 4-man front, but Wasatch has only allowed, I want to say, 1 sack on the night, whereas Provo has allowed 3. another missed pass there by Welsh. I mean,
yeah, just a little overthrown. Looked like
I hate to single Welsh out because I know he's not a bad player, but I mean, right now I think that Wasatch is kind of inside of his head, and it's like when you're playing basketball and you back off a 3-point shot instead of charging somebody, they have to take a second to think about that shot. They're like, can I really make this? Wasatch is kind of doing the same thing with the passer. They're backing off and letting Welsh, mess up on his own.
Provo going big. Oh, and he's got a man open, and he's got it, and a touchdown.
I shouldn't have said anything. Commentator's curse.
Ty Larson, and that is a huge, huge touchdown for Provo and a huge blow to Wasatch, looking like they had them stopped at 3rd and 11. So that is another 3rd and huge yardage.
That's actually the first completion of this drive, and it was a 44-yard completion. Rain is still coming down, but not super heavy.
So a huge, huge, huge help and momentum for Provo. They get the touchdown. The extra point is up.
Almost blocked.
And it was touched, but it is still good. So just like that, it's back to a 7-point game. Wasatch up 35 over Provo at 28. 11:06 left in this game, and
I think that if Wasatch can go down the field and score twice, this game is over. If they only score once, it's a problem. And I mean,
well, you'd have to think you're right. At this point, even one score will be devastating for Provo. So
one score is hard to come back from, but 2 is nigh impossible, right? So
yeah, if they just score. But Provo has got to be feeling really good. I mean, that was a huge shot of adrenaline. I mean, they're 3rd and 11, and that happens. And so they, at this point, what on earth?
I think they wanted that specific ball to kick.
That's really interesting. Very, very interesting. I've never seen that ever happen. All right, so Provo with the score, 28-35 down to Wasatch, 11:06, and most definitely a lot of game left here and for these two teams.
And I mean, Provo's kickoff formation is still really interesting to me. It's worked for them once this game. That's a high kick. And that's muffed.
Exactly what they want. That is exactly what
That's huge for Provo. There's a big dog pile on that. We'll see where it goes. And Wasatch comes away with possession.
Absolute avoiding a bullet there. I would have to say that's exactly what Provo is wanting. They want them to try.
That is the point of that kick, right? They always kick it high, and they always kick it at an awkward angle.
Here's the replay.
And here we see a muffed kick.
And you
goes
just think,
down.
Sure, I got that, but
and then as he comes down, he loses it right there.
Does he end up with the ball? He does.
Yeah.
So who was that?
That was Colby Clough that muffed the punt and then recovered it. So, I mean, good job fixing your own mistake. Would have been better if it never happened, but
devastating.
Sometimes that's life, right?
So Wasatch will take over. There's a short pass left from Kazan Villa, this time to La Kalama, I believe. Nope, that is not going to be La Kalama. That looks like it's Nalo Kitashima. Number 8, right?
It's
yeah.
Jaron.
Oh, no, it was number 3.
Yeah. Look for the hood for Law. Kitashima's a little bit smaller, but.
So 2nd and about 9. Kazan Villa's got pressure quickly. He's got Provo man on top of him. And
gets the ball out in time by the receiver. Provo calling for intentional grounding, doesn't get it.
That totally was not. I mean, that he did a really good job of staying. In fact, what I thought they might call is I might thought of showing that kickoff again, and I just don't know how. I don't know how both players missed that.
Colby Clough there gets lucky that it's right in his arms as he falls down.
Talking about that last play here, I thought they might call Kazan Villa down with his knee before he passed it.
Yeah.
Villa's going to look. He's got a man open, but that could be
That's pass interference. Yep. I believe they're going to call defensive. La'a Kalama came up and was like, what was going on there?
So it looks
pass
like
interference will be a 15-yard penalty. We'll see who it's pass interference, defense. There we go. And I mean, here you see it. You just have the cornerback jump on Law before he even has a chance to catch the ball. Very much a catchable ball, but just jumps on him.
Yeah, that was Magleby with the unfortunate timing. It looked like Magleby almost could have caught it.
Provo has 6 penalties for 53 yards. It's, I mean, half the football field. That's not the greatest stat line.
Same play to Sanders. He's got room, but this time he's tripped up.
Cut down before he can make them pay. Line. But, I mean, great job by Sanders to just...
Same exact play on the touchdown last possession. So, Wasatch marching. They're at the 22. There's Kazon Villa with the keeper. He's up the middle. He's still got the ball, protecting it well.
10-yard gain? Yep, that's enough to move the chain.
And that right there has got to be there's the replay on the Josh Sanders play before.
9.5 yards, it looks like. Almost enough, but not quite.
Kazon Villa back again. Here we go. 1st and 10. He's going to keep it again. This time he has Provo defenders on him. He's going to change direction. He's got space.
Broke everybody's ankles.
He's got a man
tosses
open.
It up.
Touchdown, Wasatch.
All right.
The only thing I thought was he was going past the line of scrimmage, but apparently not. So what a presence of mind.
I am in awe of how well Kazon Villa is handling the pressure of the situation. But on top of that, how well he's just playing. I mean, he ran probably field line, right? 53 yards. Right. Let's call it 40 yards on that play that Kazon Villa ran. Did a good job of saying, I'm going to run it. Just kidding. I'm going to throw it, and open that up for Jaron Kalama to get the touchdown. Phenomenal play by Kazon Villa to just realize, hey, look, I got the speed to make some people miss.
That's what
I need to make some people miss, and he did.
You got to just be so impressed with that speed. That's just, and the agility of just being able to stay balanced, look ahead. And you could see it on the first cut. It looked like he was going to hit another man, but then changing direction. Absolutely amazing.
Kazon Villa is 22 of 27 with 411 passing yards.
There's
and
the replay
6
again.
Passing touchdowns. I mean,
that's
my question at the beginning of this game is Kazon Villa a good enough quarterback to put up points against a good team? And I'm now seeing Kazon Villa. I mean, there's a penalty that really helps out.
Provo,
but I'm seeing Kazon Villa do things that I did not see him doing a couple weeks ago. I mean, he's getting smarter with practice. He's getting good as, games go on. I am loving this Kazon Villa, who is a confident passer, and realizing how to use his legs to his advantage rather than panicking and saying, oh, no, all I got is my legs. No, he's realizing how good of a player he can really be, and I love watching it up here, and I can't praise him enough. Because before the game, I was knocking him, and now I'm being proved wrong.
Not knocking him too much. You were giving him credit was due, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. And and yes, easily the most mature game I've seen him play. But that's the word I could think of. There's still 9:44 left.
I love to be proved wrong. That's what I'm saying, though. I love it when I'm proved wrong by a player. And I know Kazon Villa didn't hear what I was saying, but I love being proved wrong by a player, and Kazon Villa is proving me wrong time and time again. And I love it. I'm here for it.
That pass intended, I believe that was for Tomasi Hifo once again. So it'll be 2nd and 10 for Provo. 2nd and 10.
Deep drop.
He's got pressure. He's going to keep the ball, and he is going to be taken down.
Ball is out. I think they're calling him down before the ball popped out, and we have a player down on the field.
Looks like the ball is going to be placed about on the 25-yard line. And yes, we do have a player down once again.
And he's dropped down. He almost gets hit, makes a man miss, makes another man miss. And then here he gets taken down. He's down, and then the ball is out, but he recovers it. So I'm unsure of who's down for Provo.
So while we have this injury timeout, let's look just a little bit. Once again, we're looking at the Class 5A football standings. Now, this is the rankings for the 5A. Timpanogos with an 8-1 record at the top of the 5A. Springville, number 2 at 7-1. They are going to move to 8-1 and 4-1 in region. Provo is 3rd in the 5A with a 7-1 record, 3-1 in region. Tooele, Timpview, Brighton, Stansbury, and Spanish Fork rounding out the top 10. Spanish Fork really amazing last week. I mean, they did what they needed to do and took care of business against Wasatch, and they deserve that little spot there. So Wasatch coming down to, as you mentioned, 13 in the 5A.
Yeah, and I mean,
for them tonight, this would be a huge, huge victory for them.
The rain is really coming down right now, and I mean, really coming down. It's picked back up from where it is. Not at the worst we've seen it, but it's still.
Yeah. So, and then after that, we did have a update on the score of the Park City game. So, right now in the fourth quarter, looks like with just 3 minutes left, Park City is down to Skyline 10-0. And that's got to be a pretty good Skyline defense to keep Park City at 0 points. The last few weeks, they've been scoring 30 and 40 points against teams. So once again, as we mentioned, the rankings that way. The reason we're looking at the rankings is because a win here tonight for Wasatch will move them up potentially near the top 12.
While we have a second, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Mountain Land Truck and Auto and Labrum Ford. I mean, very grateful to have those sponsors. Very great businesses. I've been to Danny Labrum's a time or two, a very much community-centered man. Donates quite a bit back to the community. And Mountain Land Auto, I mean, Mountain Land Auto is involved in everything that the high school does. You'll always see a banner. You'll always see something. I mean, you can't give enough credit. But here we see, I mean, this injury appears to be really serious.
Right there on the 5 hit with number 20.
Looks like that's number 70.
Huh.
He's walking.
And then he just starts.
Keep this going.
I think he's.
Number 70 goes forward.
He is. He's like he's not able to stand on his own there.
That's number 70, Emmett Pan.
That's a little worse, for sure.
Number 70, Emmett Pan. And I want to say that it might have been a concussion.
Something, or
I mean, normally you don't see that type of thing, so maybe he's just lightheaded or
hopefully that, but once again the replay group,
I mean, he blocks, he hits helmets with Konica High.
You can see him
and
at
then
the upper left of your screen, number 70
right there, you just start to see him.
And he's staggering right now, and then all of a sudden it's like he starts going down, goes to his knees. It looks like he's standing up now, being helped off the field. And once again, that is number 70 for
Emmett
Provo.
Pan.
Emmett Pan.
Mean, we really don't know what's going on with that. We wish him the best, obviously.
Okay, well, once again, looking at scores, we also had a Region 9 football game last night at Maple Mountain. That's Spanish Fork with the huge win, 41-13 at Maple Mountain. And so that will assure Spanish Fork a spot at the top of Region 6. And Region 9.
Oh,
so
that's a sack
right
there.
Well-timed
blitz from Conaca High. A little bit of a delayed blitz, and then just comes right through the line, unblocked, just takes him down.
And what better to sack on senior night?
And on third down, that's the 4th sack that Provo has allowed to this Wasatch defense. I mean, we were scared about Wasatch's offensive line, and now we see, I mean, a potential fake punt. Who knows? No,
like
just very much the protected, and you're going to see, good catch by Jaron Kalama. Way to corral that thing with the rain.
Kalama still on his feet, going down the right sideline, still on his feet, passes the 30, 20, and he's finally knocked out of bounds.
Heck of a return by Jaron Kalama. I don't know if you guys caught it. Mid-run, he had to readjust the ball because you could see it slipping. Good presence of mind by him to say, hey, look, I need to catch this. Watch his ball-carrying arm. It's in his left arm. He takes a hit right here.
A little juke there.
And then he has to readjust. But great presence of mind to say, that ball's about to come out. I need to get it in my hands securely right now.
Wasatch with the opportunity here to threaten and nail Coffin. There's a quick pass over the middle. Once again to Laha Kalama. He's brought down at about the 10-yard line.
I do love watching Laha play.
Wasatch right now just in control of this game offensively. No huddle. They're going to go second. There's Kazan will keep it. He's going to run right. Looks, he's going to have pressure. Almost thrown into the arms of a Provo
Throws
player.
it in the direction of...
It looks like Nalu Kitashima possibly the intended receiver. But he was
turned and blocked right as the ball was thrown. Just a little miscommunication.
So 2nd and goal for Wasatch. Definitely taking their time a little bit, even though it's a no-huddle offense. Kazan's going to keep it, go up the middle. He's going to find a couple of Provo defenders. He's knocked
Finds
down.
a hole for about 3-4 yards. I mean, good job by Kazan to pump fake and then take it. Designed to draw. And I mean, Kazan is the only rusher on this Wasatch offense at the moment, which is a really interesting way to play football.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Surely they must.
You can't help but think maybe that's thrown off Provo a little bit,
Yeah.
So Kazan's looking left. He's going to scramble. He's going to be brought down.
That's a face mask. And that's an automatic first down.
Well, and it's going to be half the distance to the goal probably. If that is the call.
You see him right there get drugged down by his face mask. That's pretty blatant to me.
Referee's still discussing it. If that is a face mask, looks like that's a possibility of.
It's going to be a 3.5-yard penalty.
Face mask on the play, on the offense.
Offense?
Oh,
face
and it's both
on the
ways.
defense. It cancels out, and that is third down.
It'll be third down again.
So penalties offset. No penalty yards awarded there.
Very interesting. You don't see that very often.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, it is starting to dump rain again. It is pouring puddles on the track. All right, 3rd and 8. Kazan's looking. He's got space. He's met one defender and two, and he's going to be brought down at the 2-yard line.
I mean, with the way this Wasatch defense is playing, I would say send it.
Well,
try to go for.
At this point, you would think that for sure, and yet, two touchdown difference. Go ahead and bring in your sure thing, Ashton Southam. At this range, it's a chip shot, and then it's a 3-score game.
Sure,
so that's the safe one. But
I mean,
unless there's a penalty.
Looks like
so
it's
potentially at this point.
They're calling it a neutral zone infraction.
That actually won't give them a first down, though. So all it's going to be is half the distance. So
which is about a 2-yard penalty. So it doesn't really matter all that much.
So this will end up being, what, about a 19-yard field goal.
I mean, he's kicking it from the 2, so you add 17, so that's a 19-yard. Yep, right on the money.
Yeah, so this will make it a 3-possession, 3-score game if he can keep it through the uprights.
Right through the uprights. And I mean, like I said, I'd love to see the score run up just a bit more, but it also, I mean, I kind of just want to see, you know, that 4th down dilemma where it's like, all right, we go for it. We either get a touchdown or we get stopped, and then we trust our defense to put Provo, pardon me, in like in the red zone for Wasatch. You know what I'm saying?
And we can't see it on the screen right now, but we love our JROTC doing their push-ups after every score.
In the rain, too.
Yeah,
and I mean...
So here's a replay of, I believe this is the
return.
The punt.
I mean, he's been a great return man all year. I don't think he's returned one all the way,
right there
but
gained him another 10 yards.
He consistently gets quite a bit of return yards.
And if he wasn't knocked out of bounds there, that's a...
Yeah.
And that is La'a Kalama. So
and let's just see another laser beam here from Aiden Rouser. Just get it all the way into the back of the end zone really quick. No height is needed. Height is given, but... that's a muff kick. Apparently that doesn't matter, though. I mean, I disagree.
Both feet in the end zone? Yeah, I guess that's...
I mean, but it's only supposed to be a touchback if he catches the ball both feet in the end zone, not if it goes back. So, I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so here's the story. Wasatch up 45-28, and time beginning to run out for Provo. Whereas they've been doing their drives, taking time to get their first downs, they do not have the time. And absolutely,
I mean, you have to play fast right now, right? It's the 2-minute drill, and there's a penalty.
Quick pass from Welsh
flag
to
on the
Harvard.
play.
And where that flag was, I'm not quite sure if I'm not quite sure what that's going to be. So let's take a look here. Unless there's a hold, maybe a block in the back. That's what I was wondering there. What was it? A hold from Provo. So exactly what the Bulldogs do not need right now.
Going to call that a 10-yard penalty.
So the ball being placed at about the 18-yard line of the Bulldogs. It'll
from the
remain
spot
first
of the foul.
down. So it'll be about first and about 15. So
9 penalties for
the right.
Provo,
That's
65 yards. Got to make an open field tackle, La'a Kalama, and he does.
That's Tomasi Hifo. We talked earlier about him. That's a quick 30-yard gain right there.
That right there, though, without La'a, that's a touchdown. So you got to give him props to make the open field tackle. And I mean, it helps that he had the sideline right there, but great play by La'a to say, you know what? Nobody's scoring on me.
So a big gain for Provo. This is what they need, and they're going for another big play. That is caught. Unbelievable. And there is Magleby. That's who we were wondering about earlier.
He had a phenomenal one-handed catch earlier in this game. Now he catches a swatted ball from La'a. La'a got a hand on it, pushed it down, and Magleby was able to predict that, stick his hands in the right spot.
So just like that, in 2 plays, Provo has gained 60 yards. Welsh is going to keep it. He's going to gain about 4 yards before he's brought down. Provo definitely marching right now.
Yeah.
Here's a replay on that last one, and that's Hifo.
I mean, La'a Kalama, phenomenal right there. I love to see open field tackles because open field tackles are just so hard to make.
2nd and about 6. Once again, they're throwing into the end zone, and that is going to be, and there's going to be.
That wasn't even a catchable ball, though. Come on now.
I'd have to say that is most definitely a very interesting call.
Let's get a replay on that if we can, and let me be the judge of that, because obviously I'm never wrong.
There's one other way of judging as well. You look for Steve Coburn, and if Coburn's furious, it's probably. So I'm not sure if that just was. You can't make that type of.
Well, I mean,
no matter what
you can make that type of play if the ball wasn't catchable and the ball was out of the back of the end zone. So I'd say it wasn't, but maybe the refs disagree with me.
And that is Harward. He's going to come all the way down to the
They're calling it
1 yard
goal
line.
in inches. I mean,
that actually would be a first down. So it'll be 1st and goal again. And Provo most definitely.
1st and goal with inches to go. They're calling timeout here, I believe.
Do you do an onside kick?
So a little confusion here at this point.
Yeah, go for the PI. Here's the PI.
See, that ball wasn't really catchable, though, and that's my problem with it, right?
Yeah,
the ball was out of the range.
So here it is, 1st and goal, 1 yard line. Provo and Welsh is going to take it in, and it looks like a touchdown for Provo. Welsh with the keeper over the line and a touchdown. So
our trusty statistician Kyler back here is asking me, hey, look, do you go for an onside kick? Heck no. I mean, what you do already is pretty good. You have
what they're doing. Yeah, they almost got last time.
2 really caused of confusion, right? You're kicking it high. It's raining still. Yep. I mean, everything kind of goes right with that kick. Yep. So,
yeah, I would think that too. I don't think you'd want to put Wasatch too close. And that extra point is good. And that is Lehman, Max Lehman. Short passes with the extra point. So 35-45. Wasatch with a 10-point lead in about 4.5 minutes. So that score was in a little less than 2 minutes for Provo. They were able to march down and take a little less time off the clock. So a huge possession here for Wasatch on the kickoff. So once again, while we're waiting for this next kickoff, talk to you just a little bit about the Region 9 standing. So last night, Spanish Fort, who was already leading, they were tied with Springville and Provo with a 3-1 record. Last night at Maple Mountain, defeated Maple Mountain, so they are alone at the moment at the top of the Region 9 with a 4-1 record. And Springville won tonight also, so they are 4-1. Provo, at this point,
they're lined up for not an onside kick, but one of their weird kicks. And Crew Erickson with the smart decision to say, I'm going to go down before contact. It's raining. I can't lose this ball. I think it's a smart play.
I want 5 more yards, and he's fast enough. Just slip around and go out of bounds. But anyway.
You can't get tackled, though. That's the thing, because that they're coming for the ball. They're not going for the tackle. They're just going to attack that ball. So, I mean, you gotta play it cautiously.
So talking with the standings again, Wasatch was at 2-2. A win here tonight would put them at 3-2 and tie them with Provo, which would also be the tiebreaker for that spot. And so here we go. Wasatch will take over. This is an important drive for sure. Quezon Villa is going to avoid pressure, gets the pass off to Jaron Kalama. Kalama's going to get 4 or 5 yards before he is brought down.
Quezon Villa does a really good job of making players feel that rain on that turf and make them slip. And we saw, Ezra Tulivuka. Tulivuka. Yeah, that's the name. We saw him come in pursuit and just get juked out pretty hard.
Right. 2nd and 5 for Wasatch. Quezon Villa back. 4 receivers on the right. And that ball, unfortunately, is just a little off. So
just out of the hands. And here we see the ball boy running on the field saying, I got a nice dry ball for you. I'm going to set it on the ground really quick and get it nice and wet for you guys. How you like that?
Looked like a little confusion on that play there.
Yeah.
On what they were doing. So it'll be 3rd down and a hugely important 3rd down for Wasatch. They do not want to give Provo the ball back after that momentum. They've got to cut some more time. There's Quezon. He's going to cut around. He's going to get the 1st down.
Oh, what a play by Quezon.
Quezon is going to get the 1st down, and now you start to sweat it if you're Provo. You start worrying about time. Even though Wasatch is in a no huddle, they are going to go ahead and slow things down just a little. And that's a great replay, Crew. So we don't ever have the play clock, and that's one of the things I thought they were doing this year. We mentioned that earlier. We thought they were putting play clocks on the field. So here we go, 1st and 10. Another quick pass. This time it's read easily, and Jaron
Blown up.
Kalama is absolutely smashed. I want to say who made that tackle. Kalama could have possibly had his bell rung.
Let's take a minute, though, to commend Kazon Villa. 70 rushing yards on the night. I mean, great game from him.
So here's I believe, a timeout called by Provo.
Yeah.
I think Jaron is shaking his head a little bit. The hit was hard, but he hit his head hard on the ground. Here's some replays.
Josh Sanders with the double cutback of just deception. I mean, great play by Josh Sanders. Doing what Josh Sanders does well. And the 95-yard slant from La'a Kalama.
I think this becomes the play of the game, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Well, no. I think that first quarter touchdown from Kazon Villa, when he proved me wrong, throwing off of basically no feet. I mean, to La'a Kalama.
I agree with you. I think as good as this one was and flashy.
That one impressed me more.
Yep. All right, second down and about 15.
But I will say, connection of the game is most definitely Kazon and La'a. I mean, they are on the same page.
Yep. So, Wasatch, after the timeout, 2nd and 15, and definitely wanting to chew time off and get another first down to keep Provo on their heels. Oh, there's a fantastic tackle there.
There's a flag.
By number 34.
Not sure what the flag is
Daniel
on.
Assisi. Without that tackle, Kazon Villa gets a first down because he had lots of open space.
We'll see what Mr. Whitehat decides, but most likely a holding call.
Well, it looks like they moved forward.
That is a holding on the offense. That's declined.
It's declined.
So now it becomes third down and 14.
Third and about, from where they're placing it, it looks like it's about 3rd and 12. But Provo most definitely has to call a timeout again.
Yeah.
Which is their
second. So they only have one more.
And that is a sign. Oh, yeah, that's a fantastic block. Well, it did look like there was another player to get him, but, you know, I worried about that tackle previously that Jaron Kalama went down, hit his head hard on the ground. And that's how BYU lost Baylor Romney last week.
Yeah.
And so during this timeout, once again, we want to thank you all for joining Sting TV. We have great drama here at Wright Tree Stadium. Wasatch nursing a 10-point lead with only a few minutes left in this game. Provo desperately needing to stop Wasatch on this play. So here we go. 3rd and about 12 and a half.
Yeah.
For Wasatch.
I mean, just under 3 minutes left in the game.
Kazon's going to keep it. He's going to swing around right. And he's just going to go out of bounds, but not enough for the first down. And so it'll be 4th and about 5 or 6. And so the punt team will come out.
I've been wanting a fake punt all night. Now is not the time to do it. I'm just going to say that right now. Not the time to fake punt.
Well, this is some of the special teams have had some accidents and turnovers in the last few weeks. This is one that they will have wanted to practice. So here we go. The punt for Wasatch. Punting at about their own 25. Punt is off, and it's short, quick.
That is a
wobbly,
nice wobble. I love to see that.
Ooh, and it's going to go out of bounds.
Not the greatest wobble. I take that back.
So Provo will take over at their own 25-yard line.
Yeah.
And here we go. 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Provo running out of time.
I mean, if you're going to see a fake punt, now is the time to do it. But I think Provo's just going to cut the flash and just say, let's just go for it on 4th down.
Well, they have to score here to still have a chance in this game, and they've got to do it quickly.
Yeah.
The field goal looking huge, looming huge now for Wasatch. So here we go. Jace Welsh had an outstanding game. He's going to be back to pass. A lot of pressure. He's going to go right, and he has a man open, and it is complete again.
That is picked off the top of the head of...
Ty Larson made the catch. It looked like the defender was also number 11, Dylan
Dixon. I mean, the ball was caught right off the top of his head.
So Provo already marching. Jace Welsh back, pressure, and he's got another man open. And that's another pass interference. That'll be Peter Muselar.
And I mean, you don't want to see a completed pass, but 15 yards is a lot to give up on a single penalty. I mean, here's that good catch by Larson.
That's amazing, yeah. All right, well, Provo getting just what they need. They getting help. And that really was. Muselar, really a tough play there.
Yeah.
Pass was good. And so here we go, 1st and 10.
Oh, my gosh.
And the catch is made by Harward. Provo chewing up yards and taking very little time to do it. Already down at the Wasatch 6-yard line, just like that. Still 2 minutes and 16 seconds. Provo marching. So it's 1st and goal for the Bulldogs. Jace Welsh back in the snap. Sorry, in the shotgun. He's looking left, looks right. He's got open space, and he's going to fumble the ball. But it looks like it stayed in bounds, and a Provo player landed on it, so it's going to be
saved by the bell. If that would have gone out of the back of the end zone, that would have been a touchback for Wasatch, putting them with possession at the 20-yard line. That's the only time when you fumble out of bounds. But, I mean, here we just see poor ball security. It's in his throwing hand like he's going to throw it, tucks it in, and just great tackle there by Dylan Dixon. Almost recovered by Wasatch. Oh,
Provo is going to go in, and they is hit, but he's going to second effort in, and touchdown for the Bulldogs.
Play there by Welsh to say, I do not care how hard you hit me. I will hit, like, I'm getting in.
Yeah,
I'm getting in.
Second, third effort, gets the touchdown, makes this a 4-point game. The extra point will bring it to 3. Time is running out, but boy, Provo did exactly what they needed to in that scenario.
Oh,
that ball is tipped.
No good.
No good.
What a play needed from Wasatch. I mean, I believe that was Crew Erickson that blocked it. Let's try to get a replay of that as soon as we can. Now you have to get a touchdown. You can't just kick a field goal to go OT.
Well, a huge play. And here's
Let's
the
see.
replay.
It's coming off the edge. And they just come off unblocked.
Yeah, there's an unblocked.
That's Crew Erickson.
And it just goes
just short.
Oh, it went. Did it go wide or short?
It just went short.
Okay.
Went wide.
All right, so here's some replays of that drive. A fabulous drive by the Provo Bulldogs. As much as Kazon Villa has had an outstanding game this half, Jace Welsh has done well. There's,
I mean, sticking Crew Erickson back to return or just catch, honestly. I mean, Crew Erickson probably having the best game of his life.
I would say the most that we've been able to see. He's always been a part of it, but
yeah, I mean,
all right. Well, we have excitement here at Wright Tree Stadium. Weber City, Utah, Wasatch football.
We'll see how they decide to kick
now,
this.
Look at this lineup. Well, here we go. Provo is going to go ahead and onside kick. And, boy, there is
that's Jaron Kalama that comes down with it.
So Jaron Kalama, and that was a fabulous, in my opinion, a great onside kick, because all you want with
really
onside
good
kick,
onside kick. It hit a nice bounce with a lot of height on that second one.
Yeah, on that second bounce, it really is just all you want with the onside kick is you just want confusion. And right here, there's confusion, and that's all you want. You just want past the 10-yard line. So how the rule works is it has to go at least 10 yards.
It has to go at least 10 yards without being touched by a Provo player.
And Provo has
as soon as they touch it, and they might be discussing that right now. Was it touched by a Provo player before? And they're saying it was.
So it looks like it's going to be possession Wasatch right at the 50-yard line. Wasatch has an opportunity here. So here it comes again. And once again, it just has to go 10 yards.
Oh, yeah.
So a Provo player touched it.
Number 34, that is Daniel Assisi, touched it and just barely touched it. And now we have the last timeout from Provo.
I'm not sure I agree with this. I think Wasatch needs to get a first down, don't they?
No, because Provo only has one timeout, and you drain about 30 seconds per time, right? So if you kneel on second down and third down, that's going to be about a minute, minute and a half. And then you can sit and wait on fourth down, and then you can take a knee, and that leaves no time on the clock because it's a running play clock.
They have no time to spare then. They have to do these. It just seems like you'd do a run play or something to try to knock off a few seconds. But, again, I'm a volleyball coach, not a football coach. So
yeah, and I mean, hey, you're a pretty good volleyball coach from what I know.
Well, I don't know about that. So Wasatch will take over. It's now second down and 15. And it does look like they're just going to take a knee again. And that's the hard part here of not having a play clock.
Yeah.
I really need to see a play clock. How long is the play clock?
In the NFL, I know it's 45 seconds. And I think it's the same in high school.
I think it's 35.
But
Sean
I'm not
Kelly,
positive.
do you know what's the play clock time? Do you know? Is it 40 in high school? Okay. See, that would work then. If it's 40. If it was 30, then that
if it's 30, it'll still work.
40 will definitely work then. So,
well, 30 will work because we have a minute 29.
Yeah. Well, it's second down. So just hold it for a couple seconds and then kneel. Yeah, that's what you need. So he will down that.
And you can take a timeout right as that hits.
So Provo no longer with any timeouts. Wasatch will need to line up, take the next snap right before the play clock is over. And once again, we don't have that play clock. So we're looking at approximately 35 seconds.
You don't want to call a timeout under no circumstances.
At 35 seconds, no. This next one will have to be at about 50. So, yeah, they're at the 50 seconds, and that's where they'll take the snap. Take a couple seconds and then down it. And that could be potentially. Now, they're allowed to tackle. They can.
But when a player surrenders himself, if he's tackled after the fact, that's considered grounds for ejection as well as a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, it just looked like, though, his knee is on the ground, and they're still tackling. That just seems like that. So this clock, so it'll be third down. No, it's now fourth down. And they can run the clock off, and that will be the ball game.
And I mean, Jaron Kalama doing what I love to see from him, dancing on the field before the game's over. Nalu Kidashima and Kalama dancing. I mean, Wasatch wins a game that they didn't have great odds of doing. Kazan Villa rushed for 80 yards, 24 for 32, 421, 6 touchdowns. I mean, phenomenal passing. I mean, that's all he did, right? All he did. Kazan, unequivocally the player of the game. I don't know if you could say anybody else deserves player of the game.
I would think that too.
He comes in here and plays the best game of his life that we've ever seen and just balls out. I love to see it.
So here's the scenario. We'll talk a little bit about we'll do maybe a recap of the game here in just a minute, but let's look at this win, how big it is for Wasatch High School. So that will put Wasatch at 3-2, Provo at 3-2, and Spanish Fork at 4-1, and Springville at 4-1. So we definitely have some interesting scenarios.
And
here.
I mean, Provo lost 70 some odd yards on penalties, 10 penalties for 70 yards. I mean,
so this would be really interesting here. And so what we have here is we have teams shaking hands, but Provo coach is coming and asking something or other, and I'm not entirely sure what this scenario would be.
They might have 1 second left on the clock.
Well,
it would have to be full.
But would that mean that Provo would have the ball?
But that's the interesting thing, though. I mean,
you hold the ball.
I'm not entirely sure. So we're going to let this sort itself out.
It looks like the refs are saying, yeah.
They're going to sort it out, and wow. Not entirely sure how something like that happens. So it looks like the refs just had to do a little.
Sometimes people are a little slower to get to some conclusion. And I mean,
there's that play of the game right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that changes the game, changes momentum. And, and that's for sure how that worked. That's just how impressive that was.
Kazon Villa came in, proved me wrong, proved Provo wrong. And the only person that rushed the ball was Kazon Villa. And you see him just doing such a good job of juking out defenders in his backfield, not taking a sack. I mean, if I could pick a game for this young man to have to just prove that he is a legitimate quarterback, this fits it to a T, right? He didn't run, nobody ran the ball, right? He didn't hand it off to Connor Geek at all. Connor Geek probably didn't even touch the field, I don't think. It was just Kazon in the backfield, and they knew what he was doing every time, and he could still get away with it. They know, okay, he's going to pass it or he's going to draw. We got two options, and he got away with it every time.
Right.
Phenomenal win here for Wasatch. I am almost speechless, but obviously not quite.
So the final score, 45 for Wasatch, 41 for Provo. A huge, I think you call that an upset a little bit, even though the team very evenly matched. And so that will put Provo and Wasatch with a record that is tied for third. But, of course, Wasatch wins that tiebreaker because of this victory tonight.
Yeah.
So Wasatch actually gets in third place in Region 9 behind the first place tied Spanish Fork and Springville.
Yeah.
Now, Spanish Fork would win that tiebreaker because they've
won
Springville.
And so you have Wasatch sitting at third behind Springville, and then Spanish Fork, who has now won the region.
Yes.
Congrats to them. I mean, they're celebrating. This game was a deciding factor for them, right?
Yeah, for sure, because Provo would have had an opportunity to win
if you're Spanish Fork, you're probably watching this game saying, hey, Wasatch won. That's and I mean, the final box score, 45-41, I feel like Wasatch was a lot more dominant than that score reflects.
Yeah,
but Provo did a good job of responding when they needed to. You know what I'm saying? They ran down the field in a minute or less and just scored a touchdown, right when they needed to.
So here's the future few weeks. Wasatch is going to get a very much needed 2-week break. No games. In fact, the scheduled, and we don't know exactly for sure what this schedule is, but looking at the state tournament bracket, there's no way of knowing where they will end up being ranked. But
currently they're ranked 13.
And they have potential now of possibly getting ranked high enough that they would get a bye, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
And a bye in the first round would make it actually be 3 weeks until they play the game. So they're looking at the state tournament. The first weekend of games is October 22nd.
Yeah.
And again, that will be 8 teams hosting. That'll be the teams 8 through, like you said, 17.
Yeah.
And they will host, those teams will host, but the top 12 teams, maybe we'll have to just not speculate on that. We just don't know 100% how that will
You
work.
can't say for sure where Wasatch is going to fall, which is...
Right. Top 8 teams will get a bye.
Yeah.
And there's a small chance that they could make that. So
I would say if they're going to hit it, they're going to be number 7 or number 8. I'm going to have to go home, look at the standings tonight.
You're right. And
they're
what
not
the other teams did and things like that. Yeah.
But, I mean, getting a first-round bye is huge.
At the very least, we know the first game of the state tournament will be October 22nd. If Wasatch is ranked higher than 8, they will play on the 22nd.
8 or higher.
Yeah. 8, well, no, the top 8 teams will get a bye. So that means
8,
9 or higher.
8 or higher.
So
because 9 won't get a bye, right? So 8 or higher.
Gotcha. I got what you're saying. Okay. So, yeah, in the top 8. And so if they do happen to get that bye, of course, they don't play till the 29th.
Yeah.
Now, those are all home sites for the higher-ranked team.
Wasatch, for sure, though, has a home game in their future.
That's what for sure we know.
Yeah.
Is that they'll play a minimum the 22nd. They will play minimum 22nd at home or the 29th at home. So
let's wrap this up. Quick recap of the game. If you had to put 2 players in the spotlight, one from Provo, one from Wasatch, who are you putting in there?
So, first half for me, for Provo, was undoubtedly Jamison Harward.
Yeah.
Well over 100 yards rushing, I think we ended up at around 120 yards in the first half.
Yeah.
And was the staggering difference in offense. However, Jace Welsh doing a fantastic job too. So overall for Provo, I would probably get it because Jace Welsh had a decent second half too. So you gotta have to give it to him.
I'm gonna say for Provo, I think Magleby deserves it because I think that Magleby stepped up and made the big plays which gave Provo hope in the most important times. He wasn't consistent throughout all the game, but he made 3 or 4 plays that I was just in awe of. He scored 2 touchdowns. He had probably about 100 yards receiving on the night with some pretty good receptions. And he also got targeted for PI a couple of times where he had pass interference against the other player when they were guarding him. So, I mean, I think he did a good job of disrupting Wasatch's defense, which is why I think he gets it for me.
I give you credit there, except I just feel like he disappeared the second half.
Yeah.
So I give it to Welsh. For Wasatch, I think you've already made your stand quite a bit, and I think we do that too. Even though there was a fantastic supporting cast, you have to give it to Kazan.
Who else but Kazan Villa, right? I mean,
easily
with that,
his best game as a Wasp, and so hopefully not the last one like that too.
I mean, gotta love it. But with that, we'll say goodbye to you on this nice, rainy October night. You guys have a good night.
Yeah, we hope to be able to make sure to let you know, to keep your eye on stingtv.com, that you will get the dates for the next telecast that we will do.
Yes.
Which we're guessing is going to be somewhere around the 22nd or 29th.
All right. You guys have a wonderful night. And this is Hiram Gailey with Brett Martindale signing off.